a world drowning in noise, where truth is often buried beneath layers of propaganda and misinformation, there's a need for a different kind of a network of creators that cuts through the clutter, that doesn't shy away from tough topics, and that delivers the unfiltered truth. We are Trim Radio Network. We are creators, we are innovators, we are investigators. We're the ones who aren't afraid to call a spade a spade. If you're ready to participate in thought-provoking discussions, informational topics, and of course today's biggest headlines, subscribe to our YouTube channel today. We're Trim Radio Network. We're cutting the bull and serving the truth.
Take the red pill, take the blue pill, take the red pill, take the blue pill. Take the red pill, take the blue pill, take the red pill, take the blue pill. Take the red pill, take the blue pill, take the red pill, take the blue pill. You take the red pill, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, 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 take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. You stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Now, from the northeast quadrant of the United States, it's the Red Pill Reality Show with your host, Riscalla. Saturday nights from 9 p.m. Eastern until midnight on the Trim Radio Network. You can join the conversation in any of our chat rooms. And now, without further ado, your host, Riscalla.
Well, hello and greetings and blessings to you all. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it. Going to have a very interesting guest on with me tonight. She'll be on shortly here. An investigative journalist. And, you know, I think I mentioned, maybe it was last week, I don't recall, but I mentioned that we seem to be going from one psyop to another psyop. It's like one after another, one big crisis to another big crisis. It really is sad because I'm old enough to remember when it wasn't like this. It wasn't anything like this. I'm seeing a lot of attention, a lot of focus on the Epstein saga. But I'm not seeing America first. So while I'm on this subject of this Epstein deal, we all know that this has been going on for quite a while, right? Now all of a sudden it's at a boiling point because they are releasing all of these files. If they've had these files all this time, they know who's who. You see anybody go to jail? I saw one really the sorriest attempt at trying to prosecute someone with James Comey. What a joke. Walked in, laughed at him, and walked out. I didn't vote for that. I didn't vote for moving all the people that live in Gaza out of there and building a paradise. I didn't vote for billions of dollars continuing to go to Ukraine, which we know, if it is not the most corrupt, it is one of the most corrupt governments on the face of the planet. I'm frustrated. And I think a lot of people feel like I feel. I'm not seeing progress. Maybe I set the bar too high. I don't know. They keep talking about, well, we have inflation under control, and inflation is what do they say? 2%, 3%, some stupid number, whatever it is. Doesn't make any difference because when I go to the store, everything is still more expensive. The only thing that has dropped in price is eggs. Everything else has gone up. So where's this inflation under control? I've said for the longest time, I don't think it's inflation. I think it's freaking greed. These corporations are making buku profit off of us. It's disgusting. People really, I wish people really understood. Maybe that's a strong statement. I wish people would try to understand what these I apologize, these corporations are doing to us. You have corporations that they're like mega corporations, right? They own so many other little. It's like you can't go out and buy anything without somehow supporting them because they have so many subdivisions and branches, and so you're basically adding to the profits of a corporation that is looking to harm you. Or that may be too strong as well. They don't care about you. I think that is a little more accurate. They just don't care. They don't care if they put stuff in your food that might hurt you. They don't care. They're making money. As long as they can make that money, pal. Ooh, baby. I don't even know what the right word is. There's so much focus on making money. What about life? What about relationships? So those of you who have listened to me for a while know that I had a company. I started a company from scratch. Got wiped out by the big guys. Took them 27 years, but I finally won. When I would serve customers, they were like family to me, literally like family. My little company got up to 7 employees at one point, and we were doing just under $1 million. A small company, not a lot. Everybody was making a decent salary, and then these big guys move in, and they literally slaughter you because you can't compete with them. For every 1 or 2 items you buy, they buy thousands. For every dollar you spend, they spend like maybe 10 or 15 cents. So when I would go out and buy parts, let's say a part cost me a buck. It costs them 25 cents. How can I compete with that? The final draw was when a major corporation, I'm not going to use the name because they're so touchy. It starts with X. I guess you can figure out who that is in the printer field, the photocopier field. The last thing that happened to our company, we were the provider of services and products for part of the Palm Beach County government. And it was, I thought it was a great relationship. It was a 2-year contract. They renewed it 3 times. They must have thought it was a great relationship. Went out for a bid after the 3rd time because they were required to. And this company came in and made us look like thieves. Lost it. And that was just the tip of the iceberg, because after that was one after another after another. After we lost 4 big major customers, it was enough to, and then you had the COVID in there. COVID got thrown in and all of that. So the only people that are surviving, again, that may be inaccurate, but the majority of the people that are surviving are the big corporations. They're the ones who are making profits unheard of. I mean, they report these profits. Oh, we have, is gas gone down where you're at? It hasn't gone down where I'm at. Maybe, again, maybe my bar is too high. I don't know. I remember joking with a friend of mine back when the first time that Trump was in office, that the price of gasoline actually gone below $2. I went, holy smokes! I was friendingly, if that's such a thing, harassing one of my friends up in the area where I live now. I think it's a little further west of us, but hey, we're at $1.98 a gallon, man. Sends me a picture of the gas station down the street from $1.78, I think, or $1.75. I think it was $1.75. I don't see gas anywhere near that around here. We're still $3 plus. It was that before he moved in. It's still that now. So what's changed? What happened to America first? What happened to make America great again? I don't see it. Maybe I'm blind. Somebody help me. But I'm not seeing it. And I'm feeling more and more like we've been duped. It's almost like, well, I'll do some good over here and I'll make them all happy. I'll put a lot of focus on getting rid of the illegal aliens, because we know there's a lot of bad people I'm sure there's some good people, but we know there's a lot of bad people in that, right? So I'll work on the illegal aliens, and we'll work on a couple of other things. Maybe we'll bring up the 2A amendment and strengthen it somehow, and we'll just keep their eyes off of everything else, because everything else is still the same as it was before you moved in. I don't get so mad and shake the whole desk. Gosh. I don't know. I feel like I've been taken advantage of. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that it's not the other side that's in power right now, but I don't know how much better off we are. Really, I don't. They would have continued to allow people to come in. I think at some point, the citizens would have stood up and say, hey, they would continue to raise the taxes. I don't know about you guys, but I've about had it with taxes. And I think a lot of people feel like I do. We're not going to pay any more taxes to people who are openly corrupt. We're $38 trillion in debt, and what have we got to show for it? Instead, we give money away to other countries when we're in debt. That doesn't make any sense. We're supposed to be a government that is a representative of the people. I guarantee you there are people, majority of people, would say, we don't want our money going to Ukraine. We don't want our money going to probably 80% of the crap that you're spending it on. Then you worry about, oh, well, listen, if a private individual, what was it, $500 at one time, right? If you had a $500 deposit, you want to know where it came from? Don't know, man. Why are we allowing this? This is my question now. Because we're supposed to be the ones who are in power. And there are examples of when the people finally stood up, when the people had finally had enough, when the people were saturated with this garbage and stood up and said, we're not doing it anymore. They made a change up there. How much do we have to do in order to get that done? How many more people need to stand up and say, hey, we're done with you guys? Because in my eyes, again, we made some progress over here. We made some progress over here. But the real progress, the real life progress, I don't see happening. I don't see anything going on. I said earlier, I don't know. You guys feel the same? The price has gone down where you are at, excluding eggs. Price of gasoline is the same. Actually, the price of meat has gone up where I'm at. Go figure. A lot of groceries just in general have gone up. Okay, they haven't gone up a lot, but the point is they've gone up. Even if they went up just 1 penny, they went up. Why? We voted for someone who was going to come in and be responsible and get this economy under control, where the average person whom they have ripped off for so many years will finally have a footing, a financial footing. I don't see that happening. I feel bad for my kids. I feel bad for my grandchildren. I don't think they'll ever be able to afford a home at the rate that things are going. And imagine this. The first home I bought cost me $26,800. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. I don't remember the size of the yard, but a fairly nice, a sizable yard. Nothing extravagant. 28,000. Was it 28,000? Can't remember the exact number. It's around 28,000. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. That same house is probably now upwards of $280,000. So my question to you would be, has your salary, has your payroll gone up that much? Because these people have been ripping us off for so long. People don't realize just how bad these, I almost said a bad word, boogers, these parasites. I've given the analogy many times, and now, I don't know what's going on over there. And now, the price of silver has gone up. So, when I was growing up, one of my chores was to cut the yard. I get the lawnmower out, start it up, cut the yard. Dad would give me 2 paper dollar bills, which is a lot of money back then. It's probably equivalent to like $20 right now. So I get $2 for mowing the yard. This one time, back up, I messed that up. I would get a silver dollar for mowing the yard. So one time my dad came home, cut the yard. My dad came home and he said, "I'm sorry." He gave me 2 paper dollars. He said, "I'm sorry, I didn't get the chance to go by the bank. Here's 2 paper dollars." And he knew how much I liked silver dollars, because silver dollars were the largest of the coins and they were heavy. For a kid, they were heavy. He said, "Monday after you get out of school, go by the branch, give the lady the 2 paper dollars and tell her you want silver dollars." I did that. The lady gave me 2 silver dollars. If I take that silver dollar today, just the melt value of that silver dollar, which was 90% silver, if I remember correct, 90%, 999 silver. I take the melt, in other words, I take that thing and just melt it down. The value of that today is a minimum of about $30 to $40, minimum. So can you imagine, whatever you're making, $10 an hour, $20 an hour, whatever that number may be, multiply it by, say, 30. That would be a realistic number. That silver dollar melted down would be worth at least $30 melted silver. So whatever you're making, multiply it by 30. Now you can understand, or you may have a better understanding of how people, when I was growing up, couples made a decision. Both of them could work if they wanted to, or one of them could work. One of them could work outside, and one of them could work inside the house. One of them could work at making the house a home, and the other one could work at the finances, working to make the finances to make everything work. And I was fortunate enough to have that kind of situation. My dad worked full-time outside the house. My mom worked full-time inside the house. We had a nice home, nothing extravagant, by far nothing poor. Nice home, went on vacations. We're able to, it wasn't like we were rich, but we were far from poor. One, if they so chose, one would work outside the home, one would work inside the home, and the difference was we sat down at a dinner table a minimum of 6 days a week, had dinner and discussed. Don't happen anymore. As a result of that, our family was very tight-knit. That is one of the greatest enemies of this existing system. That's the last thing that they want, is to have a family that would be tight-knit. Because tight-knit families are hard to indoctrinate. Once something comes in and attempts to break through, a tight-knit family can identify it, and because they are a tight-knit family, they're not swayed. And what we're seeing today is so sad. All by design, all by a system that wants to keep us in a state of chaos, in a state of fear, so they can bring in their, quote, new world order. This guy, Klaus Schwab, this disgusting excuse for a human being, may not even be a human being. He had the brass to openly say, you're going to be happy. You're not going to own anything, but you're going to be happy. Aren't we headed in that direction? I mentioned just a few moments ago how I'm so concerned that my kids are not going to be able to buy a home. I mean, that's one of the American dreams, is to be able to buy your own home. Meanwhile, we have 0 that have gone to prison that I know of the real criminals. Not the, they arrest somebody. I saw a post the other day. How did they? I can't think of the right words. A major Democrat, blah blah blah, arrested. I never heard of the guy, and he's arrested on some stupid thing. I want the people who have committed treason. That's who I want, and there are lots of them, and we know who they are. We have Homer. I'm trying to think of James Homer, I think is his name. He has said, we have irrefutable evidence. You know what that means? There's no question about it. It's concrete. It's written in stone. Irrefutable evidence that the Biden family has accepted millions of dollars from the CCP. Illegal. Treason. Oh, yeah. This is what we are dealing with until we get to a point where there is accountability in this country. This garbage is going to continue. And I truly, maybe I'm ignorant, maybe I'm naive. I really believed that when this administration came into play, we were going to see some serious changes. And like I mentioned earlier, on one hand, we see some pretty serious changes. The thing with the immigrants, that's pretty serious. But on the other hand, the stuff that I was looking forward to is a dream. It's just words at this point, something that someone said. Because nothing in my life with regard to financial standings has gotten any better. Again, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm naive. Maybe I don't know. But everything is continuing. The price of goods continues to rise. I had one friend tell me, well, that's because of the tariffs. I'm talking about prices of products that are made in the United States. There aren't any tariffs on them. These corporations are completely out of hand. This is what the people who are so against having this type of economy, this is what they're against, because they realize that these big corporations can become bullies, financial bullies, and put you out of business if they so choose. That's what they can, who's got the deeper of the pockets? That contract that we lost, one of the biggest contracts that we had, that was lost to that large corporation. I could have gone to court over that. Who's got the deeper pockets? Not me. They would have outlasted me 1,000 to 1. There is a system in place that does not support the small businesses anymore. It actually works against small businesses. And the people that we have elected, I don't even know if we've elected them. The electoral system is, it's a joke. So I don't know. But these people that are up there are supposed to be representing us, right? I don't feel like I'm being represented, particularly when I was running my business and working my behind off to make ends meet, while these people are just ripping us off right, left, and center. How does one go from almost having nothing as your net to $30 million in, I don't know, how long she been up there? 6 years, 8 years? And they're worried about you or me depositing $500 or some stupid thing like that. All right, I'm going to take a break. When I come back, I'm going to have Miriam on with me. And those of you who have questions, put them in the chat room. Got a couple of people in the chat room. Hot dog. Hey, guys. Looks like we're on Rumble. We're on YouTube. We're on LinkedIn. We got kicked off of Facebook. I'll tell you quickly, and then we'll go to break. I put up a post on Facebook. I should have put up. I'll see if I can get a picture of it for later. I put up a post on Facebook. You know what the post said? The post said, "You are awesome." Just saying. That's what the post said. Do you know? I'm going to have to show you because you're not going to believe me. I'll while we're taking a break, I'll upload the picture. They thought I was asking people to harm themselves. And so because of that now, I'm restricted until May before I can before I can stream on Facebook. And good luck trying to get a hold of anybody. So for praising someone, I got prosecuted. I love it. All right. Got to laugh because if you don't laugh, you'll end up crying. I'd rather laugh. Be back in a few minutes. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go.
I just can't help myself. I keep falling deeper and deeper in love. Every day, every night, it gets harder. I just can't stop thinking. I keep on falling. I keep on falling. In love with you. Sometimes I love you. Sometimes you make me feel blue. Sometimes I feel good. At times I feel used. The way you love me makes me so confused. I keep on falling in and out of love with you. I never loved someone the way that I love you. Never felt this way. Never felt this way.
live. Breaking news, Lisa Marie. We've fallen in love right here on Celebrity Records. Lisa Marie.
There we are. All right. Well, thanks for hanging in there, you guys. Robert, welcome. Good to see you, buddy. A couple of other people down there. I didn't have enough time to read the names, so I'll go back in a little bit. Anyway, what I was just before I bring Miriam on, I wanted to share this with you because I get such a kick out of it. This not only does it tick me off, but it just shows you how stupid these people are. Okay, we removed your photo. You'll hear from us back soon. Why this happened? This photo may contain something that could cause others to harm themselves. If that wasn't bad enough, okay, then for probably, I'd say at least 2 hours, I get this. Every minute or 2 minutes, I get this pop up on my screen. So if they harass you enough, then you will go out and commit violence, right? Oh my gosh, it's nuts. Anyway, let me bring Miriam on. Let's see if we can get her up here. Let me change this real quick. There we go.
Hi.
Greetings. Welcome to the Red Pill Reality Show. How are you, my dear?
Thank you. I am well. I'm hanging in there.
Let me turn your mic up a little bit because you're a little low. Let's see if I can get to that. Come here, Mike. No. My computer's not cooperating.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just going to turn your mic up a little. This is the problem. Okay. All right. I got you a little higher, so there we go. All right. How'd your day go today?
It went well.
Yeah?
Yeah. I went to do Pilates.
Oh, boy. All right. I'm going to turn you up some more because you have such a soft voice. Will you stop doing that? My goodness. Stop that. Bring this back up here. Okay. So we're here to talk about something that you spent quite a bit of time on. I think you told me like 5 years just on this one project.
Yeah. Yes.
What-
Because
what
real
spawned-
investigations take a while. This Mick Fast investigations is just Hollywood optics.
What caused you to and so I understand you've been a journalist for like 30 years, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I was in the mainstream. I started my career at NBC, MSNBC in Burbank. I hail from Montreal, Canada. I used to write for all the top magazines before I got ostracized. And now, if you're a real journalist, you can't really be a journalist,
Yeah.
a real journalist. Because, look, this is a tome. This is it's a whodunit, deep state thriller. And you were going to ask how I came upon this. I think in retrospect, the topic chose me. I'm the world's leading expert on George Floyd, despite the other movies out there that have tried to hide my information because it doesn't tote a side. So I've been covering vaccines since 2012. Just to give some background, I directed the award-winning film Vanishing of the Bees, which was #1 in this entire country on Netflix. Has won many awards, been translated in 13 languages around the world. And I then launched honeycolony.com. I was one of the first in the health and wellness online space before all of these posers and profiteers invaded during the Rona regime. So the Honey Colony is a magazine and marketplace that kind of uses the idea of the honeybees to cross-pollinate. And it was launched during a time where we thought that social media was to help connect us, but we're more disconnected than ever, even though we're more plugged in. So I knew that the Rona was coming because in October 2019, they mass vaccinated 200,000 people in Samoa, and they passed a law called the Law of Love. And the law of love is when the government has jurisdiction over your child. And in 30 days, based on 7 cases of non-deadly measles, force vaccinated 200,000 people. So the writing was on the wall for those of us who've covered medical freedom. And so I took my boyfriend at the time, Zach Voorhees, the Google whistleblower, to Costa Rica. And 6 days before the entire country locked down. And I was in the jungle when George Floyd was killed. And that day, Zach said, Mimi, which is my nickname, can you come and choke me? Can you come and put your knee on my neck? And I'm like, what? And he's like, I'm doing the George Floyd challenge. So
I didn't even hear that. Wow.
Sorry? The George Floyd challenge early on.
Some of these things that they come up with, the ice thing, and so the George Floyd challenge was have somebody put their knee on your neck?
Yeah, to see if you can really breathe or not.
Yeah, okay.
And I said, well, if you want to know how he died, I didn't know anything about this operation then. I said, we need to call the medical examiner. And I was literally the first in the entire country to call the medical examiner, because the truth is this is canned. And so the prostitutes and parrots are just given, wires, paragraphs, talking points. And they told me, the medical examiner, that it would take weeks and weeks and weeks. But then 2 days later, CNN put out some preliminary reports to start stewing up the riot/protests that would ensue. And I started covering it. And then I had so much information covering the Derek Chauvin trial that I decided to write a book. I didn't know it was going to take 5 years. I've also made a movie where I purchased all the footage from the United States government with my money. And that's called The Real Timeline. That also has been censored because the Candace Owens, yes, that's the book. Thank you. Daniel Estelin, who I cite in my book, who wrote a book on Tavistock, gave me an awesome testimonial. And I would have never thought that I would get messed with by 3 different publishers, and that I would not even, I'm not able to really get the book out there. The Bill Maher's and the Russell Brands and the Tucker Carlsons know who I am. They know my book, but it's too truthful.
So they don't want to even touch it? They don't even mention it?
Oh, no. Tucker Carlson just had Ian Carroll. Who the F is Ian Carroll to go on Tucker Carlson? No, they're not going to. I brought my trailer to Candace Owen, a publicist did, and the next thing I knew, Candace was making a film. But they know that they're not telling the whole truth, just like the prostitutes and parrots. If you look at the movie The Fall of Minneapolis that was put out by Liz Collins, I am exhaustive in my research. And of course, I read the book and saw the movie. And it's a good book and it's a good movie. Liz Collins was shown a shot that I found in the footage of Tu Tao, the Asian officer, signaling to the extras, bystanders. And a journalist showed her that shot, and she rolled her eyes and said I was conspiratorial. But they put that shot in The Fall of Minneapolis completely out of sequence, just as a little FU to Miriam, because Liz Collins is playing the role of Miriam Hinane. She's an Emmy Award winning, so she's part of the establishment. She was married to Lieutenant Kroll, who is playing the Trump supporting officer in this left-right dialectic that's going on.
Very disappointed in myself, as well as what this administration has done so far. I don't know how much of the monologue you heard, but it's almost like we're going to do a little bit of good here and get their attention over here. The immigration thing has been, constantly. So because I want these people gone, because I know I had a personal friend of mine who was similar to you in a way, that wanted to know the truth. They wanted to get it right from the horse's mouth. So they drove to, I think it was New Mexico, I think is where they went. Drove to New Mexico to see what was coming in the country, videoed it with their camera, showed me the video, and I will tell you at least 80% of what was coming in were young men. There weren't any women, there weren't any children. It was young men, soldier-aged young men. So, yeah, I want these people back out of here. So, yes, he's doing some good in this one area, but what about everything else? What I was saying earlier, what about everything else?
Well, they brought in the immigrants so that they can train their ICE agents, and it's part of a continuation of Snitch Nation. So they're getting quotas on arrests, which is pretty effed up, and it takes 47 days. And it's just, they're terrorizing people. So you want them out, but the ones that were meant to stay are not going to get arrested. So it's just magic tricks. Magic tricks. And as a journalist of so many years, I've just totally pivoted and really encouraged people to go within and not be loosed. Not saying to be passive, but really you need to save yourself. And part of the reason the Rona regime was so successful is people are so scared of death, but death is another psyop. And this is a time of remembrance. So people need to go within, and it might sound like woo-woo, but shadow work is not fake spirituality. And so that's what it's like, take care of yourself, your health. Like, people don't believe I'm 53. I've reversed lupus. I've learned how to walk again after getting hit by an SUV and dragged 50 feet. I'm an incredible woman, and I'm now on food stamps and barely able to make money because I am banned on Venmo, Vimeo, PayPal, GoFundMe, Instacart, Airbnb, Bumble, a dating app. I've been debanked. I've been smeared on national television, and I've had the government come after me twice. So
this is a great example of what I was saying earlier about the government being a bully. So if you're somebody who is an influencer of any type, see, I can say
a real influencer.
Yeah, I can say whatever I want because I'm down to just hundreds of followers. So I don't have, if I were in the hundreds of thousands, if I was in the thousands, probably a lot of the stuff that I would say would get me in trouble. But because of how small I am, I'm not really worried about anything I say. But once you become an influencer where you're really influencing people, if you're somebody who doesn't
look at me and hear me. English isn't even my first language. I'm a brown girl from Montreal, Canada, and I have an IQ of 141, 2 degrees. I've built $1 million company that's now being effed over by algorithms. And I carry knowledge and wisdom. Where is the wisdom? And embodied, and people don't even believe that I've reversed lupus or that I am 53 years old. I'm also a functional medicine coach. So people who can actually influence are being hidden away. They never allowed me to get big. They remove all the numbers or skewed. They teach you in J school, journalism school, use big numbers, 101 ways to get your man. Just flash those big numbers. So anyone that's like, what's your follower count, doesn't understand what's really going on. It's just optics. And discernment, people need to be discerning.
Absolutely.
I think more and more people are realizing who's who in the zoo. And one of the reasons they want to keep me away is because I know who's who in the zoo. I've rubbed elbows with them. No, you've never heard of my story with being in Rudy Giuliani's hotel room, because they wouldn't want that to get out of what happened, what I saw the day of the deadly insurrection. So
back up a minute, Mary. The day of what? The day of
the deadly insurrection, J6.
What can you share with us? Are you able to share with?
Yeah, absolutely. I went to J6. I went to President Trump said it was going to be wild. I was with Zach. Zach was going to speak, and I was asking for 5 minutes to speak. It never happened. When I saw Ali Akbar and scanned him energetically and saw was dubious of him. Anyway, this was a live action role play, and I ended up walking 6 miles back and forth and seeing people go to the Capitol talking about Pence. But I'm a journalist. I was actually listening to the hearings, and Pence had those electors shown up at that night, because there was effery in the elections, and there always has been. It would have been different, so I got tear gassed once, and I was there was the scaffolding that became a jungle gym. I remember seeing Where's Waldo? Like, what? That's a patriot? Where's Waldo? Where's Antifa? And then I was scanning people energetically. I'm intuitive, I'm clairaudient, I'm claircognizant, which has only amped up in the past year and a half. And I was like, who are these people? They're not even patriots. And then I landed on a guy, Jason Fuentes, and I scanned him and he seemed solid. And it turned out he was doing security for Trump. I asked him if he could. I didn't want to get pummeled and tear gassed again. I didn't go inside the building. I was outside where the woman with the pink hand was bashing into the wall. And I started scanning. I have high pattern recognition and started seeing people in green. And I heard, like on a set, wear a green baseball cap, wear a green backpack, green t-shirt, whatever. I've worked as an extra on Hollywood sets. And it turned out that Jason ran out of footage, ran out of memory on his phone. And I'm a journalist, documentarian. So he was very polished in what he had to say. And the next day, I was asked to go and meet Rudy at the Willard. And I just was a little bee on the wall. And what came to me was, are you going to he was basically collected footage to make sure it never comes out to the public. And I was helping, thinking it was part of an investigation, but it's a gatekeeping operation.
Wow. Wow.
And Rudy used my footage that night. And he used it the next year. Did Rudy give me credit? Did Rudy give me money? No. And because I didn't trademark the footage, I could have sued for some money. Just complete. It's just no accountability. The corruption is so off the wall. And this book is how you make the sausage. Anyone who still reads this book I look for rare books. The books that I really want are thousands of dollars. So if I've been effed over, my last publisher turned out to be a federal officer and a scumbag who is selling my book, has my file, don't know, he printed my name wrong in my own book. Just disgusting. Extorted money from me. Just disgusting. So even now, because I'm banned on Amazon, I cannot order I have to ask others to order the book for me at cost to send to me. I can't have to find another solution. But people can get it directly from me and use GF Book. They can pay for a signed copy. They don't have to pow kill you. They've killed journalists if you didn't get the memo, but they can digitally assassinate someone. So what they're doing with me is, they have different variations. I say they tailor their torture to the person. It's your own private room 101. So in my case, they're messing with my ways to make money because I am magical, abundant woman.
So this is how they can kill somebody without physically killing somebody. I've heard some really horrific stories of people who they just end up literally destroying them. Bits and pieces till they can't take it anymore.
And I'm exhausted. I've been at war since 2016. I was one of the first to sell CBD. The FDA, the government came after me then, back when they listed CBD along with the Schedule 1 until they brought their fake CBD, Epidiolex, which ironically has a marketing agreement with Bayer, who I blew the whistle on and got my first death threat. And I was told to watch my tires. So
wow.
Don't drive, just, in case they want to H me.
Wow.
Yeah, and people who read the book, because all these footnotes, most of them have been scrubbed off of even archive.org. I saw stuff being disappeared in real time because, again, real investigations take years. They're not this Mickey Mouse, let's arrest Derek Chauvin by May 29th. What a joke. So the stuff that I found ties to the Podesta. I mean, it's really, one has to read the book. It's really how you make the sausage. And unlike Alex Jones, who had a fake trial, a sham show trial, I could be like, here's my receipts. But Alex Jones went to trial so that real people like me could, even the Floyd family has threatened me. The Floyd family, who trademarked everything from keychains to slippers under the George Floyd name, because they turned it into a money-making machine.
Wow. So you mentioned earlier you had lupus and you were hit by an SUV?
Yeah, when I was 29, I was hit outside of the now defunct metaphysical bookstore, the Bodhi Tree, on Melrose Avenue in Los Angeles. I was living in LA for 23 years, and I was hit and dragged 50 feet and broke 6 bones and woke up with a metal rod in my leg, which I fought to remove. And if anyone sees me on the dance floor, I am a sight to behold, because I could have been in a wheelchair. And I am confident after years of being gaslit because I don't fit. I'm not a copy and paste job. So.
No, you are a genuine danger to the existing, quote, New World Order. I think that.
Yeah, but look at me. I'm a cute little woman. It's that's the irony that I've had to work really hard to find my voice, and I've always just kind of been on the periphery. Don't really belong, and now I'm being ejected from the matrix, and I identify as Trinity. And I'm allergic to the matrix. I have to talk myself into going to a Walgreens, really. So I'm just very sensitive. I am like an environmental indicator. So after making the film, I was in the Dominican Republic after making Vanishing of the Bees. And I got caught, ironically, in a pesticide spray. They were fumigating. And then when I returned to Los Angeles, I couldn't even go up a flight of stairs. And then I was told I had lupus and fibromyalgia, and they tried to give me some prednisone and some antidepressants and said that my body was attacking itself and there was no cure, to which I said, F you, watch me. And I took 6 years and I reversed the chemical body burden by detoxing. And then I got accreditation from the Functional Institute of Functional Medicine. So I'm pivoting since I can't be a journalist anymore. And I made a seminal movie on bees, and this book is for the future. Just like they took 50 years to have the RFK, JFK hearings. So people are just astounded, the people who have read the book, of how did you find this information? It's called Freedom of Information Act. It's called tenacity. It's called follow through. And the truth comes to me eventually on a silver platter, because seek and you shall find, and I hold the divine sword of truth. There are absolute truths, but you really have to go within and deprogram yourself and take off your blinders. And that includes religion and what really Christ consciousness is about.
I'm not a religion guy. Don't believe in religion. Religion was brought, in my opinion, I may be wrong. I've been wrong about a lot of things, but in my opinion, religion was nothing more than an excuse to control people.
Yeah, it was created in 1850 BC by the Abrahamic religions, all three, to play off of against each other and divide and conquer the people.
I don't see anywhere in the Bible says you have to be this religion. I don't see
anyway,
that.
in the Bible, it was Aramaic, okay? Then it was Latin, then it was Coptic, then it was Latin, then it was Greek. I don't know in exactly order. English came much, much later. English was different. So it's called lost in translation when the word star is turned into the word king. And who's going to look at these things? I am. So that's why, I've lost Christian friends, because it's about a frequency. If Jesus was an exalted human, if the religions want to put your salvation is outside of you, no one's coming, like you said, no one's coming to save you. You need to save yourself, and you need to be fierce. But most people are whoring out and have whored out their souls under this Rona regime. And you could just say, I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my job as a journalist. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah. Well, I think, and I may be wrong again, but I think it was Christ who said the kingdom of heaven is within you. I know that's somewhere in the Bible. The kingdom of heaven is within you. So that right there just kind of points to who we are, who we really are as a people. It's sad to see this system that's in, the Bible says you were born into sin. Again, this is my opinion. I believe that the sin that we're born into is the system that we have, this corruption that has been going on for eons. From the very beginning, this has been going on.
But do Christians want to sorry to interrupt you, do they want to take a look at that brainwashing, at the Bible? Like, oh, which Bible are you reading? King James? I'm sure he was a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
The translation.
They left all kinds of things out of the Bible. He wasn't happy with particular books. And again, he introduced this religious thing. This is, to me, it turned me completely. So I was, I think, I'm Middle Eastern born. I was born in Cairo. Fortunately for me, you could either be Muslim or Christian. My dad had a Muslim background, but he was very open to being Christian. My mom was Catholic. So I went to a Catholic school until I was 5 years old. But when we came to America and we went to a Catholic church with all this stuff that you had to kneel and look, and that just totally turned me on. What is all that about? And I'm not making fun of you guys. If that's what you do, God bless you. But to me, it just didn't fit. It was not something that seemed right to me. Why would I have to walk a certain way and kneel before I get into a pew, and then kneel again, and then do this thing, and to talk to God when the Bible says you just talk to God? He's here all the time, everywhere, So it's just one of those things.
Your higher self and really do shadow work of like, why do I recreate these patterns? What are my beliefs? What are my micro beliefs? And more people are becoming like a soul Sherpa and using my intuition skills and pairing my investigative skills with my minor in psychology and my intuition to help people that actually want to do the work, whether it's with their health and to detox so that they're not overweight and gray where they don't need to be. It's all programs. We used to live hundreds of years. It's just a program that I do not subscribe to.
I worked hard for that.
Well, we all go gray. It's a deficiency also in vitamin B and stress and myriad things. But most people don't detox and take the poisons out, and we're increasingly being poisoned, which I learned a lot from the bees.
Wow. So let's talk about detox for a minute, because that's an important subject, particularly with so many people who have got
Yeah.
I can't use the word because they'll.
I'm sorry, I did. I apologize.
No, that's all right. It's not the end of the world. But I think they listen to me. They use the algorithms on my voice more than anything else, because there's been times where I said that one time during the whole thing, and we got kicked off from YouTube.
Yeah,
anyway, with the people who did that, those who are aware that what has happened is now there's a spike protein that is in their body. And this spike protein is very detrimental to one's health. It has caused all kinds of issues. Can you help with that? Can you help detox?
Yeah, I was commissioned to write a detox guide, and actually, because they gave out different batches. Some people got more spikes, some people got the nano, some people got saline.
Yeah.
So yeah. I wrote an ebook on understanding the mechanisms if someone actually wants to know what is going on inside their body with the spike, with the graphene, with the nano. And I couldn't put it on Amazon, so I put it on Smashwords, which is equivalent. And I remember I was going to send someone the link, and the book was gone. And then I realized my other books were gone. And then I realized I was gone because they just scrubbed my profile and deleted me. And then they said that I violated the TOS of I'm causing injury. Get it? I write a book on helping people that are injured, and then they tell me I'm injuring. That's how they do it. Same thing of what your Facebook.
You remember this from earlier? Same deal.
Yeah.
Same deal.
It's just an FU in your face. And more and more now I'm writing a Substack on there's no more human appeal. So you're not going to be able to appeal things because it's just going to be generated by the algorithms. And I am a poster child for the social credit score. I'm an early adopter.
Wow.
And so, yes, I do have on Miriam Hinane, they can go and get it. It's rather cheap, and then they can sit with me. I also have ebook on how I reversed lupus and different practices. And I really work as a coach where I'm more of a cheerleader, or a consultant where it's more authoritative and giving people my downloads plus doing tests, because I'm big on data, on actual data.
Mhm.
So on miriamhinane.com, yeah, but people also, this injection caused people to be disconnected from their higher selves. And that's the real calamity. Also attack the heart, and you cannot raise your frequency without the heart that is more powerful than the mind. And
Mm.
because we live in such a fear-based paradigm, we've all been hurt in our heart. I sure have been betrayed and have trust issues. I mean, I was infiltrated also by Procter and Gamble. I've dealt with a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing, but to harden the heart is what they want, when the heart can break and open. And and that's why I represent also the divine feminine and the virtues of sacredness and truth, the pious path. And especially, I'm sure in this day and age, like, I stand out like a sore thumb now. I'm a single woman, and God, I'm not American, so I know, no offense, American Chiquitas, but they're pretty vapid and materialistic, and so are the men. Where is this depth, the connection? Love is supposed to be unconditional. I know I say diamonds instead of forever.
Yeah. So let me go back to the detox for a minute. What can you share with us that for people who have gone through this now, what are some of the things they can do to help relieve them of some of the symptoms that are happening from this?
Well, every person's different, right? Are you dealing with neuropathy? Are you dealing with turbo cancer? Are you
Mhm.
dealing with heart? So I have to run tests. And I always start with the diet, because most people are eating shit.
Yeah, well,
And
that's
I'm
our
a food
food.
master.
That's our food. Unfortunately, that's
Well, it doesn't have to be. What am I eating? I mean, also, if you eat high nutrient dense foods, you don't need to eat a lot.
mhm.
I don't eat carbs. I'm more keto. And I used to be chubby and called fatso and tub of lard, and was bulimic and all of that jazz when I was growing up. And just really now, I just refuse to put any poisons. I also have multiple chemical sensitivities. I have supranasal powers. So even if someone comes, the mailman at my door with Tide, I can
You
get
can
a
smell it.
headache.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I can walk. I could smell different types of mold, gas leaks, any
Holy smokes.
fragrances,
Wow.
and I get a like physiological response. If I'm downstairs in a parking lot, the fumes. I mean, it sucks to be this sensitive, but
Mm.
we prize our environmental indicators. We prize people. The more sensitive you become, the more sensitive you become. And most people are completely, even sounds, frequencies, like even customer service, which they're weaponizing and turning into AI, like even the beeping sounds, I've become like, I will fucking, excuse me, wig out. I am unable to, anything that's false, fake,
Yeah.
I just, so it's becoming difficult to really, and there is a kind of bifurcation between people who are in their hearts and connect with soul, because obviously there's a lot of fake spiritual people, and then people who are plugged in to, we're going to watch the Super Bowl tomorrow and eat chips.
Not
I
me.
don't know,
Not me.
whatever,
That's not for me.
like it's just plugged into a different system. So I don't know if it was someone from Palantir, but basically this social credit score digital ID that they're bringing forth for those who don't comply, because Rona was just a test run.
Yeah.
Um,
That was a litmus test. They're right.
yeah, now there's more censorship than ever. This
Yeah.
BS about Trump, free speech, or Elon, like just roll my eyes of, I say fake and gay, fake FAIK, and gay comes from the 12th century Germanic origin and means full of mirth. And homosexuals should be upset because that word was co-opted for those woke out there who think saying gay is offensive, like those Procter and Procter and Gamble woke witches I hired that approached me on Upwork, and I thought I was a good influence, but we had a meeting, and then they said, I'm a biohacker and have a lot of affiliates. And they said, we could do a partnership with Procter and Gamble, to which I thought, what the F are you saying? Why don't we do it with Pfizer while we're at it? What are you talking about? So they were literally, and when I said no, they started causing harm in my company. And for people who don't think that there's infiltrators, I mean, everything, like I have a chapter on Tavistock, the system, it's the system, and it's going to be the algorithms that's going to decide. So it's
And if I'm not mistaken, this administration has somebody who has said they're going to put forth, I think the number is $500 million towards the advancement of AI. Just what we need. And their position is, well, we have to do this because everybody else is doing. We're all in the AI race now. It's like the space race way back many years ago. We're all in the AI race now, and we have to be up front. We have to be the leader. We can't allow ourselves to fall behind. And the more advanced that they get, the more they eat into our privacy, the more rights are eaten up. We're going to get to the point where we're no longer speaking to people anymore.
It's already happening. That's already happening. People are not even embodied. They might as well be robots.
So this little thing right here, there's no way I can get a hold of Facebook. No. And anybody with a couple of neurons firing upstairs could see that how could this possibly be a threat?
There's not going to be any human appeal. You can't appeal to any human.
Yeah. And this is the direction that we're going. I don't know how to get people to say, look, we're not going to, we have to, the one thing that I think a lot of people may or maybe don't realize, whatever's happening, we have to accept it. That's the bottom line. If we choose not to condone it, if we choose not to accept it, then what are they going to do? If there's enough of us, they can't do anything. Now, if there's one or two of us, sadly.
Well, that's not going to happen. We failed during the Rona.
Yeah.
Sorry to that's why I'm saying save yourself, go within. Don't be, hopefully there's a solar flare, because there is a great reset coming.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
but are you going to waver? Most people
I don't know what they're going to pull. I have suspicions that they may pull a false alien invasion, or they may pull a false return of the Messiah. The skies have been sprayed with this garbage for God knows how long, but the stuff that they're spraying up there actually can act as a screen. So they could fire a hologram between the satellites that they have and the equipment on the ground. They could fire up a hologram up there that would look as real as you and me talking right now. And people are going to fall. I mean, if this is what happens, people are going to fall for that, or if they fall for the alien invasion. I think of, I remember when it happened, late 40s, I think it was. I can't think of the guy's name. I can see his face. But they introduced, on the radio, this story about the War of the Worlds. And they said at the beginning of the program, this is just a story. This isn't real. But as they went through the program, they never stopped for recess. They went right through the program. As a result of that, people committed suicide because what they were hearing on the radio they thought was real. Now, can you imagine from what they're hearing, they're going to get them to commit suicide? What happens if what they're seeing and what they're hearing? Holy smokes. Holy smokes.
All right. Well, those who are getting the wake-up call or who are moved to go again within. And remember, because reincarnation is a real thing, and I think we're in a simulation, and they're going to put us in another simulation, and your consciousness will be trapped forever. So I think, there's now a movement of like, this is where the action is. Personally, I'm an ancient soul. I am trying to get the downloads of how to properly exit. And I had remembrances, because my first story, Riscalla, at 23 years old in Montreal, was to pitch a story to the Montreal Gazette on the rising rates in cremation. So as a 23-year-old, went to Mount Royal and met the man that burns the bodies, and then later went to the coroner's office and was always kind of fascinated with death, and then almost died myself and had a near-death experience, and was told, I heard Nothi Seton, which is know thyself, and I was told you have an opportunity to learn all your lessons in this life. I'm also a 9 in numerology, so I feel like this is a last life, and just not going to the light at the end of the tunnel. And I just have
I've
to
heard that
figure out,
from several different people. Don't go to the
yeah,
light.
don't go to the light.
The light. The
Don't
light
go
is
to
the
the light.
recycle.
Don't be fooled by
Yeah.
the family members. Don't, also it's like in ancient Egypt. So I remember that I was part of the funerary process when we used to usher the soul back to the stars, and took 70 days and filled the body with, myrrh and gold, only to now put formaldehyde inside of you. So it's a desecration of death, and people are scared of death, and they've made an industry. So I'm not, of course, scared of pain or losing vitality, but want to ensure that I'm sure whatever formaldehyde helps whatever process to usher the soul back to the stars, because we come from the stars, which is one of the reasons the Christians demonized astrology. Like, I'm reading a book was expensive, that shows how early Christians slowly distanced the stars from the heavens, and made astrology, Christians are programmed to think astrology is demonic. Just like some think that yoga is demonic, or
They're
kundalini.
also programmed that if you are sensitive to the spirit, if you're a psychic, they call you a psychic, that you're demonic. That's coming
Right.
from.
Well, and there's a fine line between Gnosticism and occultism. So Gnostics, it's about purification. It's not just about knowledge. It's about embodying and knowing, which is a threat, because how do you know, right? How do I know certain things? How do you have satori? So, and occultists, it's one has sacred. You hold sacred your divine spark, and then occultists use that knowledge to have dominion over others, where it's ego and materialism and power. So there are people who, I have a connection to my higher self. I trust my higher self. Obviously, because we need money in this realm, it is terrorizing to have the tech F with me and just keep me in damage control, instead of focusing on being a creator. I'm working on my second book now on Substack, and consider, as a journalist back in the day, I used to get paid $2 a word, $2 a word. Now it's like, please sign up for my Substack for $5.
Wow.
It's disgusting. It's humiliating.
Yeah.
And that's how someone could keep me alive, even sharing, because there's effery on Substack as well. But so I'm bringing out my second book, which has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with twin flames and quantum entanglement and reincarnation and astrology, and is the book that my soul has been waiting to write. And so I'm having a lot of fun putting that out there and putting it out in installments. It's become very difficult. Like Elon, who took the line from the ADL, you'll have freedom of speech, but you won't have freedom of reach, right? So you can be in your echo chamber, in your silo. So it is
I like that
frustrating.
saying: freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach. How
Well,
true!
the Anti-Defamation League came and Sacha Baron Cohen put it out first, and then Elon regurgitated it. It's like, to keep track of those little things that people don't pay attention to because they're not perceptive, to see patterns and to really be discerning. But now people don't even care about 100% truth and nothing but the truth, right? They're okay because they're brainwashed. And if you are beholden and serve the truth, even if it hurts and you need a couple of days to get over your cognitive dissonance, it's better to, in my opinion, to know, to not live a sham life and to be authentic. But that takes time, to research. Even looking at the early roots of Christianity, which does makes me a heretic and not people who are religious. And I'm not dissing Jesus. I'm not dissing God. But I'm not putting my salvation outside. I have a divine spark, which is offensive to some Christians who believe that, I guess there's a man in the sky that's, and this is a collective consciousness, and you could tap into it. And, I believe no one's going to judge me at the end of my life. Who are these people who are going to judge me? Bring it on if you have more integrity than I do. Really. Integrity. Where is integrity these days?
Well, I have spoke to psychics many times over my lifetime, and one common, I would say it's a common denominator, that they say that you go before what do they call it? Like a bunch of judges. I can't think of the right word.
Yeah, a life review.
Yeah, you go
It's part of
before.
it's a trap of fooling you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Is that part of the reincarnation deal?
Yeah, it's part of. Look. Let's say. That's why forgiveness, although hard, to have your heart as light as a feather, right? Because the whole idea is unity consciousness. If we're playing out in this world, it's to. Everybody is a mirror. Everybody can offer you a test if you actually are responsible and look within and have self-awareness and actually want to serve organic light and not be bedazzled by things. But who are these? If you look at the Book of the Dead, which I'm still researching, I bought several different versions because I look for patterns and then trigger my remembrance that, there's different, I'm still working it out, but there's different gates, different passwords, different, I guess, I'll give you an example. When I was writing the book, I was joking to myself that I'm going to have my own effing great reset when I'm done. And it turned out I had this, as I was finishing the book, had this kundalini, which the Christians demonified into a snake, which is your nervous system upgrading. And then I was getting, for the first 6 months, I was like really getting messages from my higher self. And then I went to do plant medicine, and I have done ayahuasca before, but I hadn't. The last time was in 2019 in Corona, California. So I went to do the medicine, and first I did bufo, which is toad medicine, and it's a very heart-opening medicine. And then when I heard, you graduated, Miriam, you're done looking at the dark side. You were given an assignment to look at the inverted matrix so you can understand how it works, and you're done. You didn't whore out your soul. That's what I heard. Then when I went to do ayahuasca, the shaman came out and said, we've been plagued by coronavirus and HIV. And I was standing by the fire, all the people who are treating ayahuasca like it's some safari because there's no integration this is sacred medicine. I heard, you are an ancient soul. You are not to listen to anyone. The shaman is spreading truth mixed with lies. HIV, coronavirus, bioweapon, engineered. Okay? So he's not professing truth. So they didn't like me there. A lot of them were jib-jabbed. And then I started hearing I am that I am, and I didn't know about the I am presence. But it's really connecting with your oversoul and trusting yourself. But you have to be, sincere and quiet. And so for me, having worked on this 5 years, I conducted many, many interviews. I was calling nursing homes. I was calling the CDC. I was calling the FDA. I'm a real journalist, not an Alex Brand, Russell Brand fake, like actual doing the digging and trying to warn people that this was happening. So I was working I'm 6 planets in Capricorn. I was like 16 hours, just nonstop, doing my show, doing my book, doing my movie, running my company, just nonstop. And now also part of the Kundalini is balancing, we all have sacred feminine and sacred masculine energies. This attack with transgenderism, which is dovetailing into transhumanism and mutilating body parts, when we all have, and as a man, we need sensitive men that are in touch with their divine feminine. So now I'm operating in a different way. I'm exhausted, and I'm not willing to keep fighting and play Sisyphus. Like it's just energy harvesting. I've done what I came to do. I know that
that's what the keeping everybody in fear is about, right? The chaos and the fear is energy harvesting.
Absolutely.
They live off of that.
You can also be vibing, because after the Kundalini, I've had on 3 occasions during the full moon attacks on me. So when I've been in a peaceful or high vibing, and I also started seeing how like animals look at me differently and kids look at me differently. It's tempered down, so I don't get messages as frequently as I used to. And I'm writing about it, and it's what is really reality, right? Even Einstein, who talked about quantum entanglement and said it's spooky action in the distance, but then took credit for quantum entanglement because he was yet another gatekeeper, to really question what is reality. Like, if this is a simulation.
I've had a lot of people say we are in a simulation. Scientists, we are in a simulation.
But sorry, I wanted to show you my, where is it?
What are you looking for?
I have the Hawkins scale to look at the different frequencies, and
I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a break anyway, so I'll give you a minute. I got to go get some more coffee. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
You drinking coffee?
Huh?
Doesn't keep you up?
Coffee?
Yeah.
I drink very little coffee, and it's decaffeinated.
Okay.
Yeah. And on Saturdays is my late night. Saturdays I'll usually be up till like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, that's my bedtime.
Actually. All right, here we go.
You're listening to the Red Pill Reality Show. We'll be right back.
Check the red pill, check the blue pill, check the red pill.
I can't help but look around and feel like things are getting out of hand. We've been told to trust the science, but the science just doesn't make sense. They say it isn't mandatory, but they also say your jab or your job. But if it doesn't stop the spread, it makes it feel like this is just a facade. What about the healthcare workers? What about the frontline nurses? How quickly we forget that they were working 18 hours a day. What about informed consent? What about due diligence? It seems a country that I used to call home is surely slipping away. I can't help but look around and feel like minds are slowly starting to change. Cause even if you're triple vaccinated, know that segregation isn't the way. Freedom is a choice and it's available to all if we choose. But first things first, you gotta turn off the news. Yo, what about the healthcare workers? What about the frontline nurses? How quickly we forget that they were working 18 hours a day. What about informed consent? What about due diligence? It seems the country that I used to call home is surely slipping away. If you're late to the party, there's plenty room at the table. This side don't discriminate. I'm calling on every single man, woman, child of the able. It's time to take the streets and liberate. But please don't be a part of the problem, staying willfully ignorant, cause there's just way too much at stake. Yo, it's okay to change your mind, you can admit you were wrong, cause where there's perfect love, there ain't no shame. Heavenly Father, show me what I don't understand yet. I got my marching orders, I don't fully know the plan yet. Hold on to my Bible before bed, no it ain't banned yet. Did you know the makers of the vaccine make the Xanax? I would never lean on corporations for morality, cause they put their profits over people for their salaries. No, they wanna make you bend the knee for your normality. I know you feeling all alone, but in reality, there's way more of us than them. 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 That's the truth. There's way more of us than them. There's way more of us than them. There's way more of us. There's way more of us than them.
And we're back. Hope you didn't go too far, because we have more interesting and thought-provoking information for you coming up on the Red Pill Reality Show.
Miriam, he'll be right back.
Okay, sweetheart, thank you.
Yeah, he got muted or something. I was just listening in.
I hope I didn't offend you. But
You know what? Listen, I'm not. I'm spiritual. I've read the Bible. This is my 7th time. I'm spiritual. You're not going to offend me.
well, Christ, I mean, it's about embodying, right? It's about being a good person.
Spiritual. It doesn't say anywhere in there about religion. Nowhere. It doesn't have it in there. If you go back to Old Testament to New Testament, everything in there.
The version you're reading, if you're reading the Book of Enoch.
The only reason that I love it personally is because it's just to focus on our Creator and His Son. That's it. Anything else, and it's spiritual. It's not. I can't say I am a Christian because man-made stuff is. I'm spiritual. I want to have a spiritual relationship. And
Jesus was an exalted man. And so he was practicing and teaching. He was actually against the system, which is why they
yeah,
crucified him. And if you look at who modernized religion, it's Saint Paul, just like Saint Augustine was actually instrumental in stripping. He had an astrologer, he was into astrology, but then he was integral in distancing the heavens. So these are facts. This
oh
is
yeah.
not like,
If you go back to even to Genesis, God says, "I put the stars there. The reason they're there is to paths, direction, different things." I mean,
but you have
it's
to really look at which version of the Bible you're reading, because, like I
it's
said, the word star was turned into king, and it was Greek. And it's like, I know Lost in Translation. I've seen it in the Ministry of Truth
and,
today.
and, I, and I'm Greek, but I don't speak Greek or anything like that. I
I
laugh
have
about it
Greek,
because I'm Greek. It went Latin, Greek. Actually, it went
Aramaic,
Aramaic, and then it went to Hebrew, and then to Greek, and then Latin got tossed in there
Coptic
too.
too,
You
Coptic.
know, but
So it's
it,
important.
no, really, what I wanted to hear was I have lupus, SLE, and actually, I got it when I was in the military, and
You got it from a jab.
no, it was military. I think all those things played a part of it with the inoculations, but I will say this: the chemicals that I worked around, the different chemicals that I worked around, your body is a big lab. It's a big chemistry set, and it's going to click on and off like switches. You know what I'm saying? And being around asbestos, being around beryllium when it was heated, being around developer
Yeah,
and
coffee enemas, chemical body burden, also your liver, then the actual, there's different detox mechanisms, and then it gets sluggish. So coffee enemas, there's a reason why Google has scrubbed it off the internet. There's a reason why when I plug the coffee enemas, for instance, Jeff Berwick, a man who puts coffee up his bottom and it's cheap. And then I'll sell my coffee enema kits on Honey Colony. And then he went to share this same interview on my second very censored YouTube non-monetized channel. And in got Insta banned. So they're saying, hey, you can't talk about the coffee enemas. You can't have Miriam Hinane on because you have an audience and people like her because she's authentic and they like her passion and she's hella knowledgeable. So, and an inspiration. So they don't want that. So I would say get those coffee enemas, because, that's why I would do tests, look at your chemical body burden. But yeah, what lupus is a label. Again, for me, it was chemical body burden. And it took 6 years, but I got those ANA levels, anti-nuclear antibodies, which should be in between, like, I think the range is 0 to 64. Mine were 640. So these names for autoimmune, even saying your body's attacking itself. No, your body wants nutrition, wants to detox, and it's not a effing juice cleanse. Okay, coffee enemas are extremely doing parasitic cleanses, bolstering the liver, like I sell a liver cleanse on Honey Colony. And just to segue, that during the Rona, I had someone evaluate my company because I was making $3,000 a day. I built $1 million company from scratch. And on March 2020, making a lot of money. Well, the FDA, FTC, DOJ launched Operation Quack Hack that still nobody knows about. They went after hundreds of people. They came after me for my silver, my number one seller, Silver Excelsior, which is 4,000 ppm, and came after me for silver and vitamin C, which I had been selling. It's not, I was like, hey, quick, let's sell the silver and make lots of money off of the people who are sick, right? While these people are peddling their crap Rockefeller medicine solutions. They will tell you there's no cure, and chemical body burden is not addressed. So if someone wants to detox, and I also have like, I don't know, it's $34. You can see what I did to reverse lupus. But we used to live, it's only because of the poisons, the lack of oxygen, and it's all over the place. Again, even these fragrances are endocrine disruptors. So it's like everything I sell on Honey Colony, which is a viable company that's being messed with, is things that I actually use. It's like, oh, you're 53. Well, how come you don't have gray hair? What's going on? What are you using for shampoo? How did you reverse your lupus? So there's so many things out there that are not expensive, even to like EDTA. I'm a big fan of. I need to get some more. I work with a company called Detoxamine. So, and people need their hands held, but it's mind, body, spirit, right? So, anyway, go on. What else did you want to say, Michael?
Oh, no, I was just kind of listening, just a little fascinated, seeing how you did it. You had a chemical lupus. Um, Very interesting. Mine turned into an offshoot of sarcoidosis to an offshoot of leukemia. But
Oh,
about 6 months ago, um, my girlfriend and I, uh, we came back from vacation. They wanted to put me back on methotrexate. Now, I'd been on hydroxychloroquine, which is, believe it or not, it's a malarial medicine,
yeah, yeah,
which helps. Before that, I was on Humira, which actually worked pretty good. But they got greedy, and the VA finally said, "We're not selling this." So they tried to give me something else. And
my CBD would also help you.
yeah, and well, I can't say that. I'm not allowed.
What? Sorry?
It's kind of like that word that Riscalla was saying before he can't say. So I can't I can't respond to that. If you get my drift, you read between the lines, you'll see. But
No,
very interesting.
I didn't get it because it has the CBD is liposomal, has no THC, but has enough. Even the whole CBD market, they're selling isolates.
I don't
Like,
know what you mean.
yeah,
He's
so
already,
that's on simplytransformative.com. It's CBD with Chinese herbs. So this is what I was going to show you. This is the Hawkins scale.
oh,
Um, and
wow.
this is where I think, like, if I didn't have a Kundalini, which just raised my frequency, that I was, it was like the Heath Ledger of like the stuff that I was covering was so dark, and people are being kept here. Definitely not being able to buy groceries keeps me here, and not
Yeah.
being able to pay my rent, all because I spoke the truth and stood up for you folks. You're welcome. Okay? Because it's like I'm a real hero, and then people like Alex Jones and Russell Brand and like, yeah, it's upsetting because it's all fake and gay. And we need kick-ass women who stand for the divine feminine and for sacredness, and to prize your temple and not allow the system to poison you and dumb you down, because even these chemicals, they rob you of IQ points. And we are seeing people who are, I'm so sorry, not jib jabbed. And of course, again, they gave different variations. I can see, like, I can tell because I'm clairaudient if someone, because they're just checked out. They're just reading, profanity, the question of the customer, which is like, listen, you're trained to say no profanity as a control mechanism. So I say to them, oh, do you need to go lay in your safe space? Is the F word here your ears? Oh, but then it's like they're just looshing me. I cannot even. So the UPS is changing. This is USPS is changing their API tools, and they have banned my company name, saying some gobbledygook about cyber security. And so when I'm calling customer service, I know it's like, oh, you're nice, but you're completely useless. I know what's going on. You wouldn't think that I'm on a government shit list because you don't know how it works. So it sounds crazy conspiratorial, but more and more people are coming to me and telling me I'm gang stalked. You can watch my interview on Truth Lives Here on Friday. I did it with the Q shaman, Jake, who pretty much confirmed live that I'm targeted, that even you can call customer service and they can silo you. They can do all different things. So if you've read 1984, Room 101 is your own private torture room. So it's very, very subtle. You know, I had one woman who came to do a consult with me, and she was going to her 80-year-old Filipino mother and telling her that she's being gang stalked, which of course her mother said, it's all in your head. Just, you know, and she comes off as preoccupied and paranoid. So she just needed a human being to be like, yes, what's going on is real, but you need to master and not allow it to control you. Because if you're seeing people following you, it's disturbing, right? Especially if you don't know what's going on. But now more and more, it's coming to light. If like, how much millions are they investing in drones? So just imagine now we're littered with satellites. What it's going to be like when you have all these effing drones over you. And where do you go for silence when really real silence? Even, you know, I'm practicing to just be in silence, not because I'm always listening. I trained myself to be able to write and listen to stuff on 2 different tracks. And somehow I could do it. But just to be in silence and to meditate and to go within, it takes practice.
Commitment.
I think the whole world's nuts, and that's what I think. I think they're crazy. I think they're nuts. I just, you know, Riss will be the first one to tell you that, you know what? How can you trust people that have bitten you so many times? And
Snakes.
It's like, you know what? Eventually, you want to swat the dog. You know, you bit me. Okay, no kibble and bits for you. And you know, but
You might say they're crazy, but they can easily look. I was in a UPS store 2 weeks ago, and I ended up in the back of a cop car. Never been in the back of a cop car. Why? Because the manager, who I've been seeing for a year, more than a year, decided to ego trip because I wanted to print a label. Like there was minus 650 in my bank account. I'm 6 planets in Capricorn. I've never paid things late, and now really beckoning people to buy my book. There must be a reason it's so censored. Okay, if you actually read. And so to receive an email at the UPS shop, just to receive the email is $5. You and I know that it doesn't cost $5, right? So I'm like, Miriam, it's not the 80s anymore, sweetheart. Come on, you can't talk to these woke ass people. You're going to end up in the back of a cop car. You know, you know what's happened to Cindy. I mean, it's like terrorizing people. So you have to really be in control and not give in to the insanity.
Well, there's
you
no
will be deemed insane.
Yeah, there's no gentleness anymore. There's no compassion. There's no empathy. There's no sympathy. There's no willingness to cross that threshold to have those things. And you know what? I believe it or not, I like my little world right here. It's got a very, very small circle, and you know we're all happy. We might have our complaints every once in a while and everything, but when it really comes down to it, we have found a peace. And, you know, going back to what you said before, people's interpretations are horrible. So they want to guilt trip you on everything with the Bible. They cherry pick, they want to guilt trip you. And most of them say, well, I'm this religion. Hey, I'm Catholic. Okay, I'm this. I'm you know, Orthodox, or I'm this, I'm that. And when you look in there and you see it says, no, it's spiritual. Everything is spiritual. And I think people miss it, but you have to really peel back the layers, just like you have to do with life. And you have to peel back and say, okay, what exactly is this? And how are the interpretations? Because people are going to have different interpretations of things. And
But and what if you're here to just give the wholesome, organic interpretation without any ego or like bone to pick. Like I had a fight with this supposed friend, and a demonic energy was coming at me. I felt like I was like, oh, it's this Christian energy that has gotten me killed before. But you're not being kind in insisting. I don't need to read the Bible personally, maybe as like just to know what's in there, but it's about embodying. You know, if you think about my Christian dad who named me after the Virgin Mary, it's the Aramaic original
Miss
spell
Miriam.
that
Yeah.
he's disowned me. He hasn't talked to me over the Rona.
Wow.
You know, my dad, who's worked for Pfizer and Procter and Gamble and IBM.
Well, you're
You
not
know?
going to win that argument.
Wow.
Well,
You know
it's
what?
pretty sad because he has an amazing daughter.
You know
Yeah.
what, though? That goes totally against what Christianity says anyway, if that's what they want to say. For me,
Exactly.
spiritual, and the way I look at it is, you know what? Does God really need defending? I mean, my God doesn't. He doesn't need me to defend him.
Yeah,
He
I
doesn't.
got into an argument with her that she said God is a jealous God. Really? My God isn't jealous. I'm so sorry. That's a human who put in that word. And if you track it back, who knows what it really was? That's what I mean about lost in translation. This is fact, yo, that it was translated from Aramaic, Coptic, Hebrew, Greek, and then English came a lot later. English is arguably a abracadabra, hocus pocus language of spells that I'm still having to remember how, you know, let's just say good morning, you know, instead of grand rising, or like in journalism, there's all these deadlines. Even the week, it's your week. I mean, even the months were all, Julius Caesar, we're going to take July. Augustus is going to take August. You know, just complete inversion, perversion. So someone has to stand there and be, what is the real interpretation? You have to be a scholar, and you have to take yourself out of the equation where you have no bone to pick, right? I didn't know I was going to find in my George Floyd book. You know, initially with the 33s and saying that there's Masonic links, initially I rolled my eyes. There's 254 instances that I've bolded of 33 in this book.
Wow.
USPS that is effing with me. Jake Chansley, the Q shaman, said that the USPS has ties to the Masons. I had a Mormon who I've done business with for almost a decade that came and told me, oh, there's a movement to free Derek. And I said, yeah, well, Derek's in a shit bag and he's paralyzed and he was an operative. And they returned my money and just effed me over to the point of like, did someone tell you not to work with me? Oh, but you're a Mormon. You're a God-loving man. No, you have ties to the Masons and you're a hypocrite because you can't be a man enough. After this was a colleague, you know, to not take my calls. And then I called and I asked to speak to the accounting. I had questions about my affiliate check, or just to understand why the F they returned my money after 10 years plus of business. I got the download because I got upset, but I knew she was French because I'm intuitive. I could hear her accent. So I started talking to her French, and then I got he's going to use you to justify his shitty behavior. So I said, I am sorry, I have PTSD and I'm passionate. I'm not lobotomized. And then on the phone, he said, well, the way you talk to my staff, I said, I'm too smart. You're not going to do that. I'm 5 steps ahead of you. You know those people that use you to justify their shit actions instead of owning it? I don't, that's why I'm not like too. I'm going to call out your fucking bullshit.
Takes no crap.
No.
While I'm thinking about it, Michael, what happened to me is my computer froze up. I was trying to get back on from the break, and my computer froze up, and I couldn't do it. I had to sign off and sign back on. Has that happened to you? This is the second time it's happened to me.
Happens around me all the time.
She was looking around, and I was like, wait, he'll be right back. I could see something happen. So
happens all the time.
Miriam, In case he didn't introduce himself, he's the president of our radio station, and he was listening. He was in the background listening the whole time. Thank you for stepping in, Michael. I didn't really have any choice. I don't know what the problem is. I'll have to do some troubleshooting later.
There's no problem. It's this conversation. I'm sure.
Very very interesting. Very interesting. I haven't really told anyone, but I stopped taking all the medications
That's awesome.
about 6 months ago, and the reason that I did that is because one, I'm tired. Okay, I'm tired of it. I'm 61, and whatever it's going to be, it's going to be, and that's the way I look at it right now.
You can improve your situation. You're taking your power back, Michael.
Why? So I can live longer in this place? Really?
Well, yeah, well, I don't see it that way.
I live for my kids, but most importantly, I live for, even though you won't believe, but I live for God and I live for Sherry, and I'm at peace with everything. And the rest of it, you know what? This world sucks. People suck. All of it sucks. Okay,
why am I here?
And I don't know, but I've always felt that I didn't belong here. There's something better, and I'm not worried about it. And you know what? I'm okay. I'm all right.
Well, I want to say that if I had someone to hold me at night and it was reciprocal, and because honestly, it sounds arrogant, but I can't find anyone at my level and I'm not willing to settle and I don't need anybody's validation. But if I had someone who loved me back and it was reciprocal, I would be happy. I don't need them to completely me, but I definitely need connection and touch. And so to be grateful if you have someone who loves you in your life, or children. I've devoted most of my life to my career, only to reach a glass ceiling. Don't have children, don't have a boyfriend, don't have friends around me. I have a close circle of friends, but it's come to the point also, it's like, yeah, I'm not able to deal with people who are not seeing the truth or want to learn the truth, or I'm about provoking thought. If I'm wrong about something, I have no problem saying I'm wrong, no problem saying I'm sorry. I've been working on myself since I was 13 years old. I thought this planet was about self-realization, and so to not take for granted your health, and if you are going to be here every day, to be vital, like have vitality, especially after all the chemicals and whatever you were inoculated against for going in service,
and exposed to. But you know what?
Yeah.
I think now it's going back and looking at everything. I'm not going to look in the rearview mirror anymore. I'm not worried about that. I'm here for today, tomorrow, and if you get it tomorrow, you don't know. But I have this great, wonderful, just fantastic relationship with Sherry, and we're like right there with each other, and we could talk about anything, and and we don't. Our arguments are almost humor if we ever get into one, because we don't elevate, we don't belittle, we don't do any of those things. We'll say, okay, you know what, that's valid, and then we'll try to bring it down to just, this is just, it's okay, it's just been a day, and move on, and that's it. And there's no need to do that. If you love somebody, then why do you want to hurt them? And she's like that, I'm like that, so it works out perfect. And try to teach us to my kids, and sometimes it's hard, but anymore, this world, I mean, if you look at how these people are leading, if you look at how they're doing the things that they're doing, they they, and then you look at the thinking of some of them, and it's just like it will boggle your mind. But if you get caught up in what they're doing, there's your poison. There's your poison. I watch them. They are a giant, big, fat poison pill. Along, that's what they are.
Yeah.
And
But I think this existential angst is happening in the collective because there is a collective of souls, and now I'm more reporting or monitoring the cosmic energies, the astrology. Like we just had Neptune move into Aries and a cycle, these solar flares. And what if there is a solar flare? Because these resets have happened before. Again, get your house in order and to have your heart as light as a feather. Personally, let's say like with my dad, like I talk about it, but I remember that I've had like, I don't respect him. And I'm sure we've played this out in other lives. And I'm like, ended the soul contract. I don't wish him any bad, but I tried to reconcile. He didn't like it when I said, hey, would JC wear a face diaper? Just saying. Would he? No, he wouldn't.
it was. I'm looking at this next virus, and I sent it to you, didn't I, Riz? I sent that one to you. Remember? Yeah. And I said, this is their next play. All of a sudden, it's starting to come out more and more and more and more. And I'm just wondering when it's going to pop up.
Which virus? I can't keep up. Which one?
Whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's a oldie but a goodie. Oldie but a goodie.
And, this world, they want to drive you off of fear. They want to drive you into,
Well, they're nanoforming. It's a takeover of this planet. It's being colonized. This is not.
Let them have it. I don't care. Let them have it. Look at what they've done to it. I don't care.
Where
here. So let them have it. What are they going to get?
Yeah, I mean, I think they already have it. I mean, I say the planet is being nanoformed, and because the nano is invisible, like we're still not talking about the graphene. They don't want people, like if you think of the Travis Scott ritual killing, that was a test. I've never heard of 11 cardiac arrests at the same time. Huh? So whatever was happening with those frequencies, I wrote about it for Vaxter and Travis Scott, which I think is a play on Tavistock, and that his real name is Shock. So that what is possible with the frequencies and the 5G and the graphene, which allows for Tesla phoreses. And really, again, if you look also at the spike and its connection with the VMA2 God gene and the downward cascade with histamine production and then memory formation, that I really have seen complete checking. People are checked out. They're following scripts, and the humanity is, and then if you are a passionate empath that feels deep, that is, in face of all the lobotomized people, then you seem like a live wire, right? That's, let's say, the problem, let's say, with Cindy and me is that we care too much. So I'm training myself to, well, I have to retrain. I have CPTSD. I mean, I've gotten kicked off of a plane by a Shaniqua. I was threatened to be arrested on the Bright Line, and it was all power plays. And I stand out because I'm not a copy and paste person. And these Shaniquas, these ICE agents, the snitches, the track and trace, it's all ego, power. There's a reason why they hire Black people at the airport. They hire Black people to be meter maids. It's to exercise their ego, their deep racist hatred towards the whites for ongoing. And then they give them, these ICE agents have quotas for arrests. So you want them out, but even like I had Greg Pasta Jardula, who went to Minnesota and did a show on what's happening with Minnesota with the two deaths. I don't know if the second death, because I really am resigned as a journalist. I'm not paying attention anymore. And I know that may be bad for ratings, but I'm really like going within and paying complete, even now looking at astrology or the content on YouTube. They're already reading your mind. They're already creating ChatGPT AI generated stuff on there. I spoke to someone about this Starlink, that there's, that Elon trademarked the word telepathy. So you have organic telepathy and you have synthetic telepathy, where they can inject voice to skull shit in your head, whether if you're compromised via substances, you're having holes in your aura and your spirit. They want your soul, and it's all louche. It is archonic. If you read the book Not in His Image, which I highly recommend, by John Lash, who talks about the creation of the Abrahamic religions in conjunction with this archonic infection, and it feeds into the louche, the harvesting. So one has to be, for me, practicing neutrality, acceptance, and it's not easy. It's not easy.
I spoke about the soul capture thing. Look, watch this. It's a patent to capture human souls.
Wow. Can you bring that back up, please? Can you send that to me?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm just going to write that down.
Yeah, I'll text it to you, or I'll email it to you. I'll email it to you.
How old is this? Abandoned?
Yeah, it's some weird stuff.
Who is behind it?
They won't say who's. That's one of the reasons I was
I
bringing
wonder
it up.
if I can find it. What's that graph down there? The image.
I can't see it very well, but
King James' Bible. It's quoting the King James's Bible.
I put that in there.
Oh, what is it? What is it?
It says Revelation 9:6, King James Bible, and in those days men shall seek death and shall not find it, and desire to die, and death shall flee from them.
I wonder what the original is of that. I'm just reading in the book on Christianity and how Revelation, because the Virgo, the constellation, which they made the Virgin, right? Virgo. And the real galactic New Year was at the Nile, at the Lion's Gate, around end of July, which paired up with Cyrus B. So all these things that I'm sharing, these were downloads that I got. I got a download of like, was it really a rib? Or was it a soul that they split, that was split in two, just like cells split? Because I've been exploring this. I'm writing about twin flames, which is a $2 billion market. And when you find out that there's a Netflix series on twin flames, I know how it works now, because this book is how you make the sausage. So if you see an industry, that means they perverted it. There's tons of twin flame themes in Hollywood, inverted, like Hancock, where Will Smith, because usually the divine feminine is awakened, remembers, and it's her twin flame, which is the same soul frequency. And in the Hancock, they made it that together, they can't stay together because they destroy everything. When in truth, a divine masculine and divine feminine, real pure love that's unconditional, you could do so much together. Two is better than one in this world. And that's why, even like marriage, it's just money. It's not sacredness. It's not vows. It's like, if you love me, buy me this car. Like, really? Like, also all your attachment styles, to look at your attachment. I minored in psychology, and to really look at what's playing out between two people, and to realize that if you do have an argument, I mean, it's great. You have peace with Sherry, and after a certain amount of time, if you both genuinely love each other, and it's not about codependence, but interdependence, and just wanting to spend time with someone else.
I don't know how people can't do it. We spend all day with each other. We enjoy each other's company. And
That's
we're
awesome.
and you know, and
Wrong.
it wouldn't matter if anyone was around us or not. I know a lot of people that are married, and all of a sudden the kids go off to college. You know, the bird nest is empty, and it goes woo, and it splits apart.
But that's
And
because people don't know themselves. If you know yourself
Yeah.
and you're choosing, it's a choice to be with someone. It shouldn't be because you need them. But look at all the narcissism, avoidance, anxious, like really looking at the attachment style. And so what you have, you're blessed. You're also a different generation. You know, we are a different generation. Hmm?
people suck. I mean,
Yeah,
listen, it's in this world,
Everybody's slightly
and
selfish.
yeah, and
Some of
everybody has this selfishness and this I mean, you can. I can't. I don't watch the news anymore because it's like,
Oh,
That's why you have such a hard time with life, Michael. That's why you're having such a hard time. It's because we don't fit in. We're not part of the what do they call it? The flow. We don't go with we don't go with the flow. We make our own.
well, that's why they also make examples of people like us. I mean, it's because I was raised not American, and so the people that I trusted, that I'm like, take off your shoes, let me empower you to f me, to sodomize me, basically. People just about the money. I'm just going to take from her. This chick beats to her own drum. It's a threat, jealousy. When I've worked really hard for everything. I wasn't given. I come from Montreal, Canada, to get a job at MSNBC, to make a movie that becomes #1, and then to get completely ostracized. Like I was going to write to Bill Maher because I sent him my book. I was talking to him about being on the show to talk about the bees, but then the Rona hit, and
yeah,
not realizing.
That's all.
Sorry,
You didn't fit the narrative.
you didn't fit their narrative. That's all. I mean, a narrative. You didn't fit with their agenda.
Nope.
And we see
Not-
this happen.
It's
all the
not
time.
just that. It's not just that, Michael. She represents a threat to the
Absolutely.
system.
Yeah, it's a
Because
system.
a mind. But
Yep.
I mean, you have to understand something too, is that because you don't fit their agenda, and then all of a sudden, have you noticed have you seen the people walking around? I mean, listen.
Your ability for free thought.
I want to say, I went to my Pilates class, and it's like I don't take anything for granted, because I really could have been in a wheelchair, and I do just because I've been poisoned, and could have been crippled. But I go into the Pilates class. So after the class, the girl must have been like 22. She was just staring at me, and I just go, I'm 53. She goes, what? And she goes, I hope I look like you when I'm 50. And I said, well, don't poison your temple. And it's a cumulative. But also my divine spark. I'm like, the music's on, I'm dancing, like I'm alive. And they're muted. They are muted and just not tapped into their oversoul. Again, I do not take it for granted. I go to bed every night. I think gratitude is alchemy, to be grateful, to not take things for granted. I mean, it's a dichotomy, because what's happening with all the bans of like not able to get money, the effery. Like I went on Sam Tripoli, and then my website was taken down. It was attacked by thousands of bots. And then
How
I
many
went
times
to
you get kicked off, Chris? Ask Chris. How many times you get kicked off, Chris?
Many. I'm off right now. Right now. Because did you see this, Michael? I don't know if you saw let me see.
Oh.
Look, did you see this, Michael?
Oh,
You'll hear back from us soon.
That could harm others.
Hold your breath.
Yeah, you know what? Have you ever been able to reach these people?
No.
Have you found a phone number to reach these people?
It's automated. And there's a phone number that you can call and talk. There's a phone number you can call and talk to somebody, but they're not Facebook. They're people who will get your account back for you for a price.
Yeah, it's called 1-800-SUCK-S. Okay, I'm just going to tell you. you know,
Well, it's not even worth it. It's like if I this UPS thing, the USPS thing has taken 2 weeks, and I'll bug out because I know I'm 5 steps ahead of you, honey. I know you're useless. You don't have the power. You don't know that I'm a banned human being, because how would you even understand that level of effery? And then it just keeps you going, and then my frequency just, I want to punch something, right? That's what they want.
Yeah.
I'm in damage control instead of being my creative genius self. Like on social media, I can just do dance videos. I'm an interpretive dancer because I'm not allowed to do it. The overlords don't allow me to put out anything anymore, and it's becoming increasing like that.
Yeah.
And it's not only what you say, it's who says it, because the overtone window where you have like, oh, Cuomo, well, now you realize that the jab is dangerous 3 years later or whatever. Like it's the overtone window, right? Now it's apparently at the right, I haven't seen the clip, but someone told me at Davos that they pretty much came out and said that COVID-19 was a psyop.
Bioweapon.
I would love to see.
I
said that?
How many times did I say that, Riz?
Is that what they said? I would be very
I'm pretty sure they called it a bioweapon.
Yeah, from the very beginning, I said this thing has got man-made lab written all over it, along with a whole bunch of other stuff.
Well, so see, even Wuhan was another psyop. It's a Russian doll. It's a psyop within a psyop within a psyop. So I covered what was happening with the hearings and the report muddying the waters, which is a big FU too, because they were muddying the waters. And someone's like, why are you covering this? I've been keeping track of the tries, the truth mixed with lies, because very few people can watch, let's say Tim Pool go, truth, you just slipped in something there. You see the narrative, Tim Pool. And you could see those people, like Ian Carroll was on Tucker Carlson. Not a Miriam, who he has my movie Serious Work, or even my ex. And I know Tucker has gotten a copy of my movie. So who is this mustachioed dude? He started on TikTok and now he's on Tucker Carlson. And Tucker Carlson comes from the CIA. So they get in charge. Every sector is even the other side. If you know these people in the medical freedom, these colleagues of mine, the Stella Emanuels of the world, the fucking Dr. Simone Gold. I know. You want to do an interview with me? But I've been on this front lines of this space way before you, biatch. And you don't want to come on my show? Oh, there's something. Stella Emanuel, who made tons of money because they captured the ivermectin and the HCQ and the hydrochloroquine. Yeah, it's they're making money off of that too. Stella Emanuel, I was in the jungle. Trump tweeted her. He untweeted her. I liked her passion, and we went on Skype, and the connection was bad. Then the next day, Stella Emanuel texted me, God told me not to do the interview with you. To which I said, oh, but God told you to do it with Fox News. Please. So I know colleagues, I won't say their name. They will not have me on to talk about my book because my book can make money. This is an excellent book that in the real world, they gave a Pulitzer Prize to Darnella Frazier, the 17-year-old girl who captured this, okay? She was praised by Spike Lee and likened to Martin Scorsese. And they had an article, it's in my, they took that article down because it was a little too much. It's a little over the top. Okay, but she got a Pulitzer Prize, which is, Pulitzer is another BS. This, if you would read this, really, with all due respect, I could put this on your desk and go, could you write this? The answer would be no. Because the follow through, the mind to see, it's like I injected myself into this story. Maurice just called me from jail. Maurice, who was with George Floyd. And I told him, listen, George was an operative. You were used. You were used and then you were disposed of. And he's like, Mimi, How do you know all of this stuff? How do you know more? How is it that I know more, Maurice? You were in the operation. Why? Because they compartmentalize you. They will not tell you. You will be a useful idiot doing your job. They will spit you out. If Derek Chauvin, there's a movement. Oh, yeah, because Derek Chauvin, there's a movement to free Derek. But hey, it's been 2 years. Do you know where is Derek? He got stabbed 22 times. And the FBI informant gone rogue, who never canceled his contract with the FBI, wanted to put me as his media expert. John Tursak, who stabbed Derek 22 times, who read my book in a week. And he's like, Mama B, RASPCT. I'm like, so were you socially engineered to stab Derek? Kind of. And is Derek even alive? They told me to keep him alive. Oh, okay. Well, what do you want me to do with that information? And he said, Mama B, I want to put you back in the game. And I'm like, I want to be alive. I'm done. I did my my duty. And so I really hope people, this chapter is blood debts and human sacrifice.
Yeah.
It's really
yuck. I don't know. This world's nuts. That's all I know. Hey, listen, I do have to go. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Nice.
If you want to get the ebook on the lupus or look into a coffee enema, I sell a kit on Honey Colony, and you could use B Lady 15.
I use honey. I eat honey.
Yeah, I'm talking about coffee. I'm talking about detoxing, and they used it in the Gerson therapy.
That's right. Max Gerson. When I had cancer, part of my protocol was certified organic coffee enemas. I had 3 of them a day.
Yeah. Wow. Where did you do it?
At home.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
Got rid of it.
It's not something. What kind of cancer did you have?
Prostate.
Wow. Do you do stuff like methylene blue would be good for you? Did you?
I just got some methylene blue. I've had to deal with cancer 2 times. I had prostate cancer and I had bladder cancer.
Well, it's also could be bladder cancer. It could be also sugar. Again, the coffee enemas. It's not something you just do. Like I do them. I was doing them 2 times a week for 2 years, and now I just do it once a week. But wow, it helps with glutathione production, which is
I was up to 3 times a day, and I did that for I think 7 or 8 days, and then it was every other day, and then it was every 2 days.
What was coming out if you do it 3 times a day?
Mostly water. When it first started, all kinds of stuff was coming out. I don't know what it was, but probably after the first day, it seemed more water than just real.
Because there's biofilm, there's parasites.
Oily. It was kind of oily. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's also just not going back to the sugar, and sugar is more addictive than cocaine. Like I'm doing a consult with one person, and he's like, he knows what he needs to do, and he has an addictive personality. It was gambling, it was booze, then it was gambling, and now it's sugar. And it's like a vicious cycle because it will give you brain fog. It's an addiction.
Yeah, they've taken pictures of people on, I think it was cocaine, it was on some drug, hard drug, and people on sugar. It was almost the same.
Yeah, no, sugar is as strong as cocaine.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you so much for letting me kind of jump on and say hello. And, I wish you well. And
Thank you. I wish you well as well.
These people in the world, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just, I've seen it all. I got a nice little circle, and I'm just going to tell you, it's just a nice little circle.
All you need.
I like it, and it's been a lot more peaceful.
Yeah. Less drama.
Yeah, a lot less. Shoot. Well, listen, nice meeting you.
Thank you, Michael.
And
I'm going on another show. I'm going to be talking till 2 a.m. Wow.
She's going to be up for a while. You're the one who needs the coffee, girl.
No, I can't do. I do bulletproof coffee, and I need throat spray.
Yeah. You know, I could drink coffee all day long and it won't interfere with my sleep at all.
Yeah, it's also a Middle Eastern thing that Middle Easterns, like at 11 o'clock at night, are gonna have coffee with their.
You drink Middle Eastern coffee, you'll be up for 3 days. I remember my mom making that stuff.
The
Holy
Turkish
smokes, man.
coffee.
Yeah, oh, goodness gracious. All right, Michael, again, I appreciate you stepping in for me. I don't know. I'll have to look and see why that happened with the
Do
lockup.
tell me if you figure it out.
Yeah.
Bye, you guys. Have a good night.
God bless you, brother. Be well. Okay. Miriam, a couple of things that stick out of my mind. One of the things was you mentioned the number 33 came up a lot in the George Floyd investigation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How can you give me some examples how it came up?
Yeah. Squad car 330.
The squad car was, I didn't realize. Wow.
They lied and said the protests erupted on 33rd Street. It was 38th Street. George Floyd lived on 3333 Alabama Road. He lived in a federal housing complex, which is a prime place to get some informants. There was a psychiatrist that supposedly did some assessments of George Floyd until I saw that he wrote 33 books.
Oh, God. Wow. How old was he?
How old was George? I think he's 40.
Oh, okay.
42.
I was expecting 33.
I'm looking because I bolded this. Oh, yeah. I told him I also suspected that Floyd was an informant based on the fact that on August 27th at 3:33 p.m., Officer Kang filed a motion to court asking for all evidence in the past 5 years of George Floyd being an informant, because a year prior, almost to the day, George did the same shtick until they told him, we're going to immortalize you. We'll make you Ronnie 2.0. Just say, I can't breathe 11 times, which is a recirculation of Eric Garner. Let me see, because there's so many 33s that because I bolded them, I could just go in the book until I come across yet another one.
The signification of 33. That's when I hear or see 33, I think of the Freemasons. Is that where it's coming from?
Yeah. So turns out other weird. Okay, here. On one hand, Freemasonry is just a benign fraternal club of our great-grandfathers, a kind of nepotistic MLM, multi-level marketing. But is there something beyond the 33rd parallel, asserting that, yes, there is a group of people who hold far more power and relevance than we realize? Turns out other weird shit has happened on the 33rd parallel, including the first atomic blast and JFK's murder. If you flip Minneapolis, Minnesota, sideways, you get a 33, the highest degree in Scottish Rite Masonry. The riots erupted on 38th Street, but the media lied and said that this was on 33rd Street. Why? Derek's squad was number 330, and George Floyd lived at 333 Alabama Street. There was just a few references of 33. I've made it a point to bold them throughout this book. There were sixes too. The trash can that it was arguably moved for the scene was decorated with 3 6s, and of course Floyd was 6'6", tall, with a Masonic eagle emblazoned across his chest.
Wow. See, they put this in front of us and we don't see it unless we're looking like somebody like you who knows what to look for. Now I'm gonna go back and look for George Floyd videos to see what.
Well, you can see my movie, which people can buy my movie. The only It's on miriamhinane.com, and they can get it printed. And if I do get whacked, and in the future it'll be worth a lot because there's only X amount of copies out there. And again, you know, I know it's a big whopper of a book. There's one chapter, 6 Ways to Detect a False Flag Event, the Anatomy of a Psychological Operation. I mean, it's a long time. Spent 5 years to write a book.
No kidding. Wow.
Most people don't have the.
So you've already educated me on quite a few things I didn't know. What else? What other secrets?
Things. So many people need to read the book. Things with, ties to the Podestas, the real roots of the 4 funerals, hush money, the links.
His family got all kinds of money afterwards, right? It's like $5 million or something.
So much money. I mean, I break it down here of all the, the different players who are arguably not even.
Were you able to identify where the money was coming from?
Well, from dummies who thought that this was really a racial thing. It's a money laundering. Even his Social Security, which I did a FOIA, Freedom of Information, like a real journalist, on top says 330 right there. It's full of photos, full of illustrations, receipts.
Wow.
And it's really a calamity that after all of this, that I won't have, conservatives won't have me on. Because they don't want people to know, the Shapiro's Daily Wire, who put out this movement. What happened with the movement to free Derek? How is it that it's been 2 years and nobody knows the details of the shanking? I've got images of the murder of the weapon that he shanked. I have pictures of Derek. Nobody wants to.
I had heard some time back. I had heard he was stabbed. That there was an attempt to kill him. And do you think that the attempt to kill him is from the deep state, from the?
Well, I just told you that he was told to keep him alive.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that part.
No, sorry. Yeah, imagine keep him alive, and now he's like 22. Oh, the irony! He was in the hospital because they punctured his lung, and he said, "I can't breathe." Crazy. Like I can't make this up. Right? Wow. They worked at the same club. They knew each other. There was a black guy, David Pinney.
Yeah, I do remember reading that they worked as bouncers or something at a club.
Derek was an off-duty cop because there's a lot of clubs where you hire an off-duty cop and a career criminal, right? That's normal.
Career.
George Floyd is a career criminal.
Yeah.
He's been in and out of jail. I purchased all of his mugshots. And he says in my documentary, he says to Charles McMillian, one of the bystanders / extras, I'm scared as AF. When I stop breathing, it's going to go off on me, man. What's going to go off on you?
Wow.
So the movie and the documentary go together. And again, it's miriamhinane.com, George Floyd book. You can use GF book and keep a lioness going because they are messing with my ways to make money.
Wow. Oh, it's growing up for me. This is one of my major issues that I have to deal with as an adult. Growing up, I was in 7th grade and these two guys were in 9th grade. I was a skinny little thing growing up. Both of these guys, I don't know why they didn't like me. They didn't like me. I'd never met them before in my life prior to going to school. They used to beat me up a lot, and it gave me a like a PTSD. I didn't know what they call it back then, but rubs me wrong to this day when I hear about things like what's happened to you. These are bullies. And there's this, the bad part about it, the sad part about it, there's very little we can do about it. We just have to sit and take it. And that really boils my blood. Because
people can buy my book and help me. If it's super humiliating to have to call people up to send me grocery money. When
wow.
I have a beautiful company, Honey Colony. It just doesn't have the traffic. It's a 15-year-old company. And people, if someone does call a customer, they usually think they're talking to a celebrity. They're surprised that I'm so personable. And if they give me lip, I'm like, good luck getting a public figure of my status on the phone, let alone a business owner in this AI ChatGPT. So I think there'll be a market for people who just personal touch, but again, it's about spreading the word.
Yeah.
And
reach. We're back to the reach, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I'm getting a call from the radio show.
Okay.
So I have to go.
No worries. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Riscalla. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for your time and for having
I really appreciate you
on.
taking the time. And I learned quite a bit from you tonight. And
I aimed for that.
We'll do our best to do whatever we can to help you out. God bless you, sweetheart.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch, right?
Please. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're not in Florida, but
cool. Well, good luck. I wish you the best. And
thank you. Thanks a shout out to Cindy for this. Hopefully I didn't offend her.
Yeah. I don't know if she's on. I can't tell if she's on tonight or not. All right. Good luck. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.
See you.
All right, guys. I'm going to take one more break before we finish off the show. It is sad when I hear stories about people like this who have just run through the mill because you're not part of the. And let me tell you something. I have no doubt in my mind that I would be where she is with regard to the attacks upon her. I would be the same place where she is if I had the influence that she has. That's the problem. The more popular that you get, the more influential you become. I hope I said that right. You become a danger because they can't have people who might stir up people and say, hey, wait a minute. He's not lying. He's not a conspiracy theorist. He's telling us the truth. I've always said, I don't really expect people to believe anything I say. I am grateful if you take the time to listen to what I have. My purpose in doing what I do is to present information to people in the hopes that they would go and check it out themselves. There's a big difference when you hear somebody say, oh, yeah, well, so-and-so did so-and-so. But there's a big difference between you hearing it and you go reading it, go finding a credible source about it, and then finding it out for yourself. Big difference. Anyway, let me take a quick one here. I got to get. I decided I wasn't going to drink anymore. I drink 1 cup of coffee, probably maybe twice in a month, and it's Saturday night when I do it. But I decided I just got water instead. Let's see if I can find this guy, and we'll take a quick break, and I'll be right back. Here we go.
You're listening to the Red Pill Reality Show with your host, Riscalla.
Come with me if you want to live. Stay here. I'll be back.
You have asked, are we happy? Are we happy and effective? Consultation with leading experts in the field makes it perfectly clear, that we are all now programmed for perfect happiness, perfect happiness, perfect happiness.
want us to see. We hear what they want us to hear. They think we can't handle the truth.
If you feel you are not properly sedated, call 348-844 immediately. Failure to do so may result in prosecution for criminal drug evasion.
See that the humans remain entertained until the end. Control. All ownership of the divine. Control. Created in the image of man. By the masses. Control. For the masses. Control.
We're back. Hope you didn't go too far, because we have more interesting and thought-provoking information for you coming up on the Red Pill Reality Show.
All right, let me see if we can get this thing to work right. No, don't know why this is doing this. Every once in a while, just like happened earlier tonight, the computer locks up on me, and I can't. What you're seeing where it says "Be right back," I can't get it off because it won't let me click on it. I don't know if it's my computer or if it's with the something going on. All right, keep clicking. Maybe there we go. Oh, now. All right, people. Well, never a dull moment. Let's see if we can get the camera to work now. Reset the camera. There we go. Hot dog. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed Miriam. Definitely a very unique lady who has been put through the mill, to say the least. But there are so many stories that I hear that are similar to hers, where somebody comes along and does something that in general is to help the people. You know, the whole purpose of doing what she did is she believed, and I believe I'm with her as well, believe that people need to know the truth. That there's so many lies out there, that the truth is a viable enemy to the system. And when someone comes along and has the credibility, she said she worked, I think she said CNN, MSNBC. She's a producer. She's made a movie. She's done a documentary. She's an author. This isn't somebody that came up out of the shadows, man. Somebody's got some credibility behind them. And they're saying that the apple is red while you're saying that the apple is green. They don't like that. We say the apple is green. I don't care if you see the apple red. I'm telling you it's green. And you have to go by what I'm telling you, because if you don't go by what I'm telling you, we don't have to kill you physically. We can do other ways and just make you feel like you might as well die. There was a guy that I interviewed. I'm trying to remember his name. Mark Gren something. I can't remember his name. Maybe I'll pull it up. So what happened to this man is that he came up with a product, Miracle. God, my mind. I just started using methylene blue. I wonder how long it takes. I'm on my third day. Anyway, he came out with a product, and I can tell you that where he made his mistake, where anybody who's going to come out with a product, a healthcare product of any kind, you cannot use the nasty 4-letter C word. You cannot use that. CURE will get you in trouble. And that's what he had. He had this product, and he made the mistake of saying that word, and then following that, cancer. You know how much money's in cancer? You know how long these people have, quote, been researching cancer? Let me tell you something. I'm 73 now. Researching cancer, I can go all the way back to my, elementary school. You gonna tell me they haven't found it yet? They haven't figured it out yet? It's sad. It's sad because knowledge is the greatest weapon that one can possess against this evil that's in this world. Without the knowledge, you just pull one over on you. That's what happened 9/11. Oh, some people came and attacked our country and they brought these buildings down and they were Muslims and we've got to go get them. 20 years later, we're leaving Afghanistan, tail between our legs. What a fiasco. How many $billion of equipment we left behind? We're still in Iraq, still in Libya, still in Yemen. I think it was probably 9 or 10 years ago I said, the United States has become the bully of the world. We go around beating up other countries because we can. Because we can, and that's the truth. I have an audio, I think I even have it on video. Don't have it loaded up on my program for tonight. General Wesley Clark talks about how they planned these wars long in advance. There was 7 countries in 5 years, I believe is what he said. All planned. Countries like, I don't know, Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, Lebanon was another one, Syria was another one, Iran. All planned, pre-planned. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I was saying to people, you cannot continue just simply by the laws of karma of the universe. You cannot continue to put out negativity, and never expect that negativity to come back to you. Well, folks, that negativity has come back to us. That's what we're witnessing today. All of the hell that we have created. Let me back up a minute. All of the hell that has been created in our name, because I didn't want to have anything to do with it. I didn't approve it. I didn't even know a lot of it was going on. And I think a lot of the people, probably the majority of the people, feel the same way. Well, it's now come back to haunt us. I was telling Miriam earlier, I had a friend of mine who, similar to her, she kind of reminds me of her. She doesn't settle for what she might hear or see on the internet. If there's a way for her to physically find out, to get it from the horse's mouth, so to speak, she would do that. And that's what she did. Drove all the way to New Mexico. I'm pretty sure that's where she went. Went there for 2 days, sat at the border, recording with her phone, came back and showed me some of the videos. Oh my God. I would say for every 15 or 20 men that came through, you might see one lady. And for every maybe 15 or 20 ladies that went through, you might see one lady and a child. We were being overrun, and the previous government knew that. They knew what was going on. They wanted what was going on. And now we're having to deal with it. It has been absolutely documented there are sleeper cells within our country waiting for the wake-up call. No telling how many there are. They're telling us 20 million. Since when do you believe anything that the government tells you? 20 million? So as I mentioned earlier in the monologue, I'm just going to try to upload that. I know a lot of people are not going to pay taxes. I'm just going to stop. The only way that I know of to fight back is to stop. Just stop paying taxes. Stop giving these people gasoline for their evil engine. And if enough of us will do it, we can bring the system down. We can bring these evil son of a guns down. I'm coming to a realization that there's very few people in what we call our government that really give a damn about us. The rest of them they're in it for themselves, and they're sick. Many of them are sick in the mind. What they think about with children. And then you have the Luciferians and the Satanists. So I don't want to give them any more gasoline. I'm done. Let them starve. With all the games that they play with us, with all the money that they have stolen from us over the years. I mentioned to you earlier in the monologue, whatever amount of money that you're making right now, if it's an hour or if it's a salary, multiply it by 30. And then tell me what kind of lifestyle you would have. I guarantee you, without a doubt in my mind, the majority of people the majority of couples who both don't want to work outside the home would finally have an option where one could work outside the home, one could work inside the home, and build a home and a family. They don't want that. This is a direct attack on their system. Their system is to break the family unit. Break them up. Because if we have a family that is close-knit, we won't be able to indoctrinate them as easily as a family that's all broken up. I don't know why this black thing keeps showing up on my picture. I guess it's the background. But we have reached a point in this world, particularly in this country, where it's like a downward spiral, I guess is the best way to describe it. And as the spiral gets smaller and smaller, things get faster and faster. That's what I'm seeing. We go from one psyop to the next psyop, and the next psyop to the next psyop. Or we'll hang on to this one for a while. The Epstein. It's a psyop. Keep people interested in Epstein while we do something else. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? Now that everybody's all focused on Epstein, who knows? I'm so disgusted with the whole thing. How many hundreds of thousands of lives have we wasted? People believing that they're doing the right thing. 17 years old, I wanted to go, I wanted to serve the country. Went and signed up. They wouldn't let me serve at 17. They let me sign up, but I couldn't serve until I turned 18. Gave me delayed enlistment. Thinking that I'm doing good. Couldn't have been more wrong. How many more of them are out there right now? I read an article this morning which really disturbed me. I don't know if it's true, and I pray it's not true. But apparently, according to this article, we've started bombing in Iran again. Oh boy. Trump says he doesn't want to start any new wars. Well, gee, we went to another country and kidnapped their president. If that's not an act of war, God. Yeah, well, Iran can't have nuclear weapons, so we're going to bomb Iran. Another act of war. I remember him saying, the war between Russia and Ukraine would never have happened if I was president. And when I become president, I'll end that war in one day. Well, I knew that wasn't possible to end in one day, but I figured that he would end the war very quickly. It's been over a year. We're still giving him billions of dollars. You can't say anything against Israel. If you say anything against Israel, you're an anti-Semite. Got news for you. The Palestinians probably got more Semites in Palestinians than they do in Israel. The majority of the people in Israel, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, are not Ashkenazi Jews. They're not the bloodline of Abraham. So many things that are going on, and as I get older, I just see it's just the span, the peace span, the span of peace between each one is a little shorter. That's what we're getting to the point where just constantly, and we're almost there now. One thing after another, after another, after another. Meanwhile, these no good for nothing sewer sucking slugs are creating all kinds of benefits for themselves, taking our rights away from us. I'm very disappointed in this administration. I really believed, and again, I know I've said it a couple of times, but I'm going to be redundant. Maybe I raised the bar too high. I was expecting by this time, 1 year after taking office, I was expecting to see some real results. I was expecting to see some of the real criminals do the perp walk. I was expecting to see pricing at the grocery store take a serious drop. I'm not talking about just the eggs. I was expecting to see the gasoline that we've been paying a little over $3 a gallon for before he got into office to come down. Came down, I think it came down for like 4 days. It was the weirdest thing. It was, I think it was right after, it was right around January of last year. It went down for like 12 or 15 cents for like 3 or 4 days and came right back up again. They're playing with us. Beside the fact that, when people like me who stick their nose in everything, I know that the technology exists so we could run our cars on gas. Water. I know the technology exists so we can run our cars on water. Totally water, nothing else. But we can't have that because we have bullies. The oil industry would go berserk. Beside the fact that even our government would refrain from doing anything like that. If you think about it, our economy, many times they refer to our economy as the oil economy. As smart as we're supposed to be, you'd think we'd figure out another way. But they don't. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to change. They want to keep everything the same so everybody continues to make money that's making money. And they can continue in their power trips. For me, one of the only ways I see out of this is don't give them any more gasoline. I wish I could reach 100,000 people and truly get them to understand. If you stop giving them gasoline, they won't be able to run their evil engine anymore, and our lives will become better. Better. $38 trillion. We should be living like the Saudis live. There isn't a single homeless person. Every Saudi is like a prince. They live in multi-million-dollar mansions. $38 trillion. People don't, I was telling, Peter, I think I was speaking with Peter Kling. People don't realize how big are these numbers. They keep talking about, millions and billions and trillions. If I wanted to give you $1 trillion at the rate of $1 per second, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, it would take me 32,000 years to give you $1 trillion. That's how big these numbers are. And we're 38 of them in debt and got nothing to show for it. Nothing. There are places where bridges need to be rebuilt. There are places where roads need to be rebuilt. Buildings are falling apart. We're finding out that the majority of the politicians are stealing it. I've always wondered, something costs you $1 today. 2 weeks from now, or 3 weeks from now, or sometime in the future, it goes to $1.05. It goes to $1.10, whatever. Who made the decision that it costs more? Who did that? The only thing I can see in my mind to raise the prices is because you're freaking greedy. That's what it is. Greed. And I'm sick of the greed. I've mentioned to you earlier how these global corporations come in, and part of the system is to destroy the small business. They become so greedy. I remember having a discussion with one of the major manufacturers of printers. Um, gosh, probably now 20 years ago. We were talking about how we could assist each other. And they were telling us that, well, listen, we really don't want to go to the end user. We want to have someone like you in between us and them because it's just a headache for us when we have these smaller accounts. We're talking about accounts that are maybe 100,000 and less a year. It's just it's a pain for them. Back then, something changed along the way because they're going after all of them. They're going after all the way down to $20,000. They're going down. That's not a fair playing field. But they're bullies, and there's little to none that we can. It's just I think about how many people had to make a decision. Either you're going to get them or you're going to lose your job. What? For me, it would have been if I were working for someone, it would have been a very difficult thing for me because I had a large family that relied on me. I was the one who worked outside the home. Was I willing to take this and risk my life in an effort to continue to support my family? Or was I willing to walk away, suffer the financial disaster, and then try to figure out how I'm going to get everything recoup and get back on my feet again? What a horrible decision to have to make. And they forced people down this road. I went before the commission, the Palm Beach County Commissioners, expressing to them how much damage they're doing to the children. Didn't faze them. They smirked. One guy smirked at me. I want to go out there and smack him one. One of them smirked at me, trying to, make it look, what does he know? I don't know. What do I know? I'm a former foster parent from the state of Florida, helped raise many children, adopted 7. What do I know? I know that I had a grandchild who was autistic in the autistic scale. She wouldn't wear a happy birthday hat. You want her to wear a mask? So what happens if she doesn't wear a mask? You going to call CPS and have her taken away from her parents and force her to wear a mask and put her through trauma? They all laughed at me. They were silently laughing at me as I'm telling them, you're hurting children. Don't you care? You're harming children. There are children who are literally having a difficult time breathing because you're forcing them to do something that is stressing them out so bad that they're going through like a traumatic phase almost. Didn't faze them. And I believe, like Miriam said, that was a litmus test, and we failed miserably. Miserably. I remember reading about how many years ago, I don't know how many years ago it was, long before I was born, the government confiscated people's gold. I said, God, that'll never happen today, man. Shit, no way. People are too smart now. We're not going to give up our gold. No, you're not going to give up your gold. You're going to give up your life by letting them inject you with this garbage. I got to bite my tongue because I really would like to get colorful. So my part in all of this is now I'm going to stop giving them gasoline. Done. No more gasoline. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what happens if you don't have gasoline to run that evil engine of yours. Let's see what we can do then. I'm telling you, we should be living like the Jetsons today. That the technology exists. People don't believe me. People think I'm just, blowing hot air. 1972. 72. We had drones that were controlled by computers on the ground. 72. Think about that. All right, time's up. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate it. archives will be up on Rumble and YouTube. You can tell your friends if they missed a show and they want to hear Miriam, they can look it up there. Other than that, God bless you guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. I'm out of here.